Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hope that everybody is doing wonderful tonight. Hope that my sound is working as it's supposed to. We'll see. Don't know. But if it's working, I'm sure that you'll let me know if it's not. Looks like my mic is up and running. Well, it is a beautiful night here. I spent a little time with my lovely wife. She made some chicken bog. If you don't know what that is, just ask. I'll be happy to explain it. Basically, 4 ingredients. And then we chilled out by the fire pit, which she requested, and did a little. Yeah, it was good. It was really good. Chicken bog is simply nothing more than some chicken. So you've got breast, you've got thigh, and those are boiled until they're nice and tender and cooked thoroughly done. Then you take a little bit of that stock that's left over and you add that to your rice, and the rice is cooked. And you will saute some onions until they've caramelized. Throw in some sausage, preferably sage sausage, and you mix that all together. Mix it in with the cut up meat, which basically gets shredded. Toss it in with the rice. Makes a nice big bowl, and great for several meals. She also made some banana bread. She has this thing with bananas where she'll end up freezing them, and then she'll unthaw them and peel them off, and they end up really soft and gushy, and she'll make some really nice banana bread that we'll do for breakfast. I do most of the cooking, but whenever she gets on a tear for cooking, it's really, really good. Really good stuff. But yeah, we did the fire pit, which was nice, warm, and smoky because it was a little chilly tonight, a little wet, a little rain towards the end. Did some s'mores, just kick back, drink a little bit of bourbon. So she was telling me that they actually make a laundry detergent that, how you get the laundry detergent has a smell of spring. Banana bread, it is very tempting. Trust me on that. And I'm doing the low carb thing also, so it's one of those where you do it in the morning for breakfast instead of cooking eggs, or she'll do yogurt, bananas, or some berries or something like that. But so the banana bread will go throughout the week, and then the rest of it will be frozen whenever she wants to bring it out. It's good stuff. But yeah, did a nice little chill by the fire pit, and then it started to rain, which we were expecting. We were just expecting a little bit earlier, and that it didn't was wonderful. And then, of course, burn off the carbs during the day. Yeah, I've been most of the time I get up about 5 o'clock in the morning, somewhere around in there, and I'll usually either go for a run or do some yoga to limber up the muscles. Hooray! Or and then at night I go for a nice long walk with the wife. So it's do anything to burn it off. Oof. Starting to get putting on a little bit of pounds there. You see the old age is starting to show. It happens, but hey, at 53, I think I'm doing all right. So no complaints there. Just do what I can. I'm not as fit as I was when I was in my 20s, and had I known in my 20s how fast my body would break down, I would probably would have done a lot more. But I would say I've probably got another good 40 years. Oh, absolutely. 53. Yeah. Kudos. It's a it's totally worth it. I wouldn't go back, to those 20s where I was really young and stupid, but I would definitely, most definitely, go back and tell my younger self, keep working out and don't stop. It was that stopping that sort of really did me in. So I was doing a little bit of searching tonight, and I ran into this really strange story that just got me to thinking, and it was something that happened quite some time ago, and I'd I heard about this story, but I wasn't really following too much of it. It was just really weird to me, this particular person, and I'll pull this up here because it sort of got me to thinking, just about how crazy that people are. And it's this one right here. Let's see if I can zoom in on that a little bit. On it. There we go. So Heather Mack, this so-called Bali suitcase killer, she spent years in an Indonesian prison for allegedly helping in the murder of a socialite mother, Sheila. Don't even ask me to pronounce that. Sheila von Weismack, maybe, at the luxury vacation destination. She asked a judge to grant her release from jail and custody of her 7-year-old daughter while awaiting federal trial more than a year following her extradition back to the United States. And this is a story from the Chicago Sun-Times. And they reported that Mack, 27, testified during a state court bench trial meant to determine the fate of her daughter, 7-year-old Estelle Schaefer, that she would like to be in the care of Diane Roque Ellis of California if Oshar Sudamara is not available. Sudama, an Australian woman married to an Indonesian man, helped raise Stella while Mack was in custody in Indonesia for 7 years. Mack also testified before the Cook County judge, Stephanie Miller, that her intent would be live with Ellis and the child if Mack is released from federal custody. Sutarma spent the summer in the United States with Stella, but was recently forced to return to Indonesia. So this woman right here killed off her socialite mother. It's just, and I had heard about this story. I mean, she's cute, but so she landed in Chicago Airs International Airport, and the FBI placed her under arrest because she'd been newly indicted on conspiracy to commit murder and obstruction of justice charges for helping to stuff the body of her socialite mother into a suitcase at a ritzy Bali resort in an alleged plot to access her trust fund. I don't know if too many people heard about this, but it was so just like, I don't think they show any pictures on here, but the pictures was just insane. This girl just stuffed her up in that suitcase. I don't think I've got a picture of it, but it just, seeing something like that, I'm like, where is our society gone? It's sort of gone down this weird path of just like complete weirdness. And, of course, then more stuff shows up and I'm like, okay, so what else is happening in the news that just sort of, points to this kind of absolute weirdness? And I, of course, come across another weird one. This is, out of Arizona. I have a sister and nephews and nieces and grandnieces. Ooh, wow. Is that right? Grandnieces? Yeah, something like that. Oh, I'll get to that one because there's There's another suitcase one, and I actually have that interview, and it's crazy. I may end up playing that tonight. But this is about this cult leader, and I was like, this would be a good time to just start a whole new religion. I don't know if the religions we have now are just not properly working, or maybe I just need to start some weird sex cult. not that I don't have any problem getting sex from my wife, but hey, imagine having 20 wives. That would be a little bit crazy. So the trial date for this alleged polygamous cult leader, I don't know if they're saying that he's alleged being polygamous or if he's being an alleged cult leader. So we'll see. Well, he had 20 wives, so I don't know if they're alleged of that. Some of them who are underage and as young as 9. That's not a wife. It's like child sickness. The dude's got problems. Has been pushed back to March to allow his attorney time to prepare. Well, this guy never had a whole lot of time to prepare. He just went ahead and, married a bunch of, underage girls. And I guess the older wives were fine with that. But old Sam Bateman, 20 wives would be way too much work. Oh, no. It would not be, because he doesn't work. He makes all of those 20 wives work. That's how this works. You don't do the work. You're just there basically as a sperm donor. That's it. Whenever you're doing that, you're not working. They're doing all the work for you. You got to learn the grift. That's the grift right there. He's accused of engaging in the transportation of minors in interstate commerce to engage in criminal sexual activity and travel interstate commerce to engage illicit sexual conduct with minors between May 20 and 2021 of November, between Arizona, Utah, Nevada, and Nebraska. Bateman's wives were allegedly transported across state lines in a trailer, while the self-proclaimed prophet drove 2 Bentleys while pushing failed business ventures in real estate and goal coaching. Absolutely. Yep. So the investigation revealed that on August 28th, 2022, Bateman, with aiders and abettors, committed obstruction of justice by destroying records of their illegal actions, according to federal prosecutors. Bateman, of course, as he should have, pleaded not guilty to charges of kidnapping and tampering with evidence in a federal investigation into his community, according to a report from Fox station Kajaz in Phoenix. It's just really creepy. They all have the same little woman bun there. Creepy. While the trial was expected to begin on January 10th, 2023, Bateman's attorney requested more time to prepare. The judge granted more time. I mean, how much more time do you need? And the trial was expected to start on March 14th. I guess there was just too many other weird creepos out there doing weird creepo stuff. So Bateman claims to be a prophet of the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Now, I thought maybe they were just trying to say that the Church of, that's creepy. Most definitely creepy. When I first read this, I was like, oh, so they're calling him this guy a fundamentalist? I was like, no, it's actually, I guess, a different branch of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so it's actually the fundamentalist Latter-day Saints. So they're supposedly a subset of the fundamentalist Mormon denominations whose members practice polygamy, which there are certain states where it's absolutely illegal to practice polygamy. I don't know enough about the LDS or anything like that. Someone like Legal Vices or Danny on, I think that's what her name is. they would be much better explaining this kind of stuff. I just don't know enough about it. I mean, I had a drummer that I was in a band with that was Mormon, and yeah, they didn't practice that kind of stuff. Uh, Bateman, according to FBI affidavit, included a criminal complaint against three new charged co-conspirators, as nearly 50 followers. 50 followers. Wow, that's more followers than I have on my channel. Wow, I only have 27. I guess I need to step up my game. Maybe if I like offered polygamy, I could get like a bunch of followers. Of course, there would be no like sex. You would just be like married to, me, like Charles Manson or something like that. I don't know if that's a good analogy. That's sort of creepy too. Yeah, and I don't want any minors in my following. Well, they can follow me, but I don't want to have like no minors. No, I don't want to be married to minors. That's weird. Yeah, I guess you would have to like join them to like maybe figure out what they're all about. Maybe that's what it would take. I don't think I would want to join a group like that. This is just a little weird, a little too creepy for a lot of people, I think. So the probable cause affidavit filed in the federal court by last month by FBI, Dawn A. Martin alleges that some of Bateman's wives were the wives or daughters of Bateman's male followers. Now, if you're going to do it, that's sort of the way that you do it. Yeah, get your male followers in there and say, "Oh, your wife's just fine." What we need to be sure. I know that you're married to her, but if she marries me, it's a polygamy thing. Yeah, you'll be fine. Don't worry. Tonight was your night. Tomorrow night is my night, and every night after that. You get her on Tuesdays, and it'll be fine. But follow me. Throw your money at me, homie. Some of Bateman's male followers, affidavit also accuses of Bateman trying to take his own daughter as his wife. No, that's bad. It's bad. It's your daughter. That's your daughter. Why do you want to be like that? Why do you want to be like that? It's just creepy. So I clicked on it because I wasn't too sure about this guy. I was like, oh, let's see if there's something a little bit more. And I don't normally, read Fox. It's just mainstream. Well, now David Koresh. I remember I had a guy that I worked with when I was delivering pizzas. That was he went to Emory, and him and a few other guys. They're actually on the rugby team for Emory University in Georgia. He was like, you know what? Because this was about the time that stuff started. Because you had Ruby Ridge that happened not too long before that, and then of course you had the Branch Davidians, as they called themselves. And so what they did is because he was from Texas and he had family there, so he had a place to stay. And it is a long drive if you're driving from Atlanta to Waco. So they had a place to sort of crash because he was outside of Waco in a smaller town outside of that. They actually jumped in his truck, and they drove out to Texas to see what was going on. And on their way there is whenever the FBI or the ATF, yeah, it was ATF, went in and actually, basically set the place on fire and destroyed it and killed all those kids. And that was 100% bad ATF move. Yes, I agree. David Koresh was a wacko dude, but the way that what was her name for Bill Clinton? I forget names. Names leave me at my age. She basically, God, it's like right on the tip of my brain. She basically said, "Yeah, go ahead, go in," and they did. And whenever they did, that was the result of basically burning that down with women and children and men in that building. killed quite a few people. It's pretty horrific. And then whenever they found out, they basically went and hung out with, his family for like a day. Yeah, Janet Reno. That's right, Janet Reno. I knew you would remember. See, it's not an old age thing. I just really have the worst memory. I remember the weirdest details, but names are absolutely horrible. Like my wife knows this, so we'll meet like our neighbors or something, and of course they'll say, my name is Bob and Jane, and we'll like, have a conversation with them. I'll walk down the street and I'll go, what were their names again? Yeah, my wife has a really good memory. So this guy, of course, we were talking about this. Yeah, it was terrible the way they handled it. Absolutely, absolutely. I think they could have handled it much better, but um, I don't think they left him with a good way out. They made some little movie. I think the guy from Friday Night Lights was in that as David Koresh, and they really, I don't think they got it quite right the way that they portrayed that. But Hollywood doesn't get a lot of stuff right. So, dude, that dude just looks really like normal, everyday kind of dude, not like attractive or anything like that. Just if you saw him walking with some, with like five women, you go, whatever. Some of them are like daughters, sisters, or whatever, but it's, I wouldn't suspect this guy of being, that kind of creeper, but you know, people are just creepy. That's basically, you've got this looks like his whole family really, really, odd because I think a lot of them, in these pictures are part of his little group. They all got their little braids. Just creepy. And I guess these are supposedly some of his kids or wives' kids or something. Just whenever I heard about this, I was like, man, why? I mean, if you're going to start a cult, why do you want to have like a bunch of like, I guess, you get your new breed of kids in there, but if you're going to start a religion, just stick with people that are actually interested in the actual religion. You don't have to indoctrinate somebody into this kind of stuff. It seems like people are just weird minded. Yeah, just a regular looking Joe. Absolutely. Yeah, I never understood the cult mentality. And I mean, as a kid, it was pretty easy to fall into that kind of aspect of, I was I was born, in a religious family. My father was Catholic, but because he'd been divorced, that was sort of like going against Catholic tradition or something. So, he changed to a different religion, and my mother, I believe, was Pentecostal. The people that like to speak in tongues, which is fine if that's your thing. And they sort of found an equal medium, which ended up being Methodist. So I was sort of born in New Age religion types. No need to sucker people in. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's not even really New Age religion, and you've heard about some of these other places that are doing like sex cults and things of that sort. But hey, sex does sell, so why not? But yeah, the mother and father, two different types of religions, sort of settled on Methodist, because both of them are extreme religions. And of course, did the Sunday morning church and Wednesday choir practice. And, it was fine. You know, it was a good way to socialize us as kids. And at that age, I don't think I really understood what they were talking about most of the time. It's like, you know, you get some good stories, you hear about the coat of many colors and Joseph, the coat of many colors, and you've got, you know, Moses parting the Red Sea, and, you know, all of these wonderful stories that they're just stories, you know, different than, you know, reading Dr. Seuss at that age. You really don't see that sort of, it doesn't really strike you as anything because you don't really have that cognitive. So I can understand how it's pretty easy to start up a religion. Um, and as I got older, it ended up we because this would have been in the 70s, and this is whenever they started really having the Great White Flight, um, where you had, you know, upper class. Oh, that's fine. Work around the house. It's don't you even worry about it. You don't even have to holler. It's fun because I will just ramble about the most random stuff. My my parents during that period of time, they didn't they didn't want to move their children into a school that was basically underperforming, so they looked for a school that was a little bit better. And that this was a different time, a different era, and they had what was Pace Academy. It ran off of the ACE system, which was just the most religious kind of thing where if you think Footloose, you pretty much have these independent fundamentalist Christian, uh, Baptist, like hardcore. But they had this school that they would teach, and you know, my older sister, she actually in the, was it, eighth or ninth grade, she was able to graduate high school, and start, you know, doing college prep courses, and ended up going to college rather early. Me, on the other hand, my math was absolutely horrible. And because they didn't really teach history. Um, Whenever I got out of that school, I think I was there for about 4 years, which was really interesting because if you weren't if you weren't saved and you didn't go to their church, you basically were ostracized from, you know, a lot of things about them. They were just really hardcore religion. You know, women don't dance. They don't. You know, the girls don't wear anything but a skirt, no matter, even if they're in their own home. We had a girl that got suspended for, you know, answering the door in a pair of shorts. Just, you know, weird stuff like that, which that school actually got shut down sometime well after I left. But it was, you know, expensive to go there. It wasn't cheap at that period of time. I mean, now it would just be like, yeah, that's pretty inexpensive per year. But at the time, that was a lot of money. We're talking 80s, really early 80s. Um, hell, it might even started in the 70s. Time like that doesn't really mean that much when you're that age. It's just like, yeah, it was, you know, I was elementary school. So going from that into a public school, and the public school that I went into went from being a a high school, because there were so many students moving into that school just in my, because it was just eighth and ninth grade. My eighth grade class had over 1,500 students just in the eighth grade class. And it was about 2,000 in the ninth grade class. And I went there for 2 years until, um, we moved to New Mexico. This was after my parents got divorced and moved to New Mexico, which another story in itself. But what was I basically talking about? Religion. Going from this hardcore religious background, it sort of messes with your head a little bit because you're seeing the way that someone's wanting to influence you to basically, you have to become part of my religion, although you're like already integrated. You have friends that are this other religion, and you got another one that's saying, well, they're going to burn and go to hell, because they're not washed in the blood of Christ. And then you've got, well, what about my Jewish friends? Just like, well, yeah, they're going to burn and go to hell too. I'm just like, okay, you don't really understand, but it's very confusing at a young age to hear this kind of religion being just thrown at you, and you're sort of taking it all in. I don't think it was until I was in my late teens that I approached it. I approached my minister personally and had a lot of questions. That questions don't really matter at this point, but because of the questions I was asking him, he sort of stopped me and said, okay, I want you to stop right now because you're not going to find answers to these questions. We couldn't even answer them in seminary school. There is no answers for a lot of these questions. The Bible is a really good guidebook. And what I suggest for you is to search out answers to your questions, and don't be disappointed when you don't find them. But you need to find what keeps you whole, what keeps you happy, because God is what's important in all of this. The stories don't matter. They're designed to help you understand. And for you personally, you will find God, whatever portion of that you may accept, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Buddhism, sorry about that, whether it's changing a religion entirely, or anything of that sort. But just know that there's something greater out there than all of us. And that really stuck with me because it was giving me the chance to sort of step on my own and step out on my own and sort of think about those aspects. And through all of the many years since that happened, that's been over 4 decades, 3 decades, somewhere around there. It really it made me question myself, question my beliefs, but not like throw my beliefs onto somebody else. And I'm always suspicious when someone wants me to change the way that I believe, to conform to their beliefs, if that makes any sense. As I've had, people say, well, if you don't believe in Jesus Christ, you're going to go to hell. I'm just like, well, I don't believe in hell. I don't believe in heaven. But I still believe in God. I believe that there's something greater and grander than all of us. And I don't intentionally ever try to do anything to cause harm to somebody else. It's just not, I just don't believe that, I guess, a little bit of karma, I don't want to do something bad to somebody. Well, congratulations, because I actually, when I went in the Army, I registered as a Jedi. No joke. Well, and also the thing that taught me in the Army was that we're all green. My time in the Army, that was the first thing that they taught me, because they would ask, they'd say, all right, who's come in the military to come in the Army to learn how to kill people, become a mechanic, become a carpenter. So, well, you're not going to learn any of that here. None of you are black. None of you are white. None of you are yellow. None of you are red. You're all green. And we're going to break every single one of you little assholes. Start doing push-ups. Yeah, they didn't play. It was interesting. Yep. All green. All green. Yeah, the thing that really brought it about, because I enlisted in the Army at 16. I actually enlisted at 16, but at 15, but at 16 I was able to go in. I had to go and get my GED. When I went in the military, I was, maybe 120 pounds soaking wet, and I was 5'6", maybe. I'm 6 foot now, so I haven't even fully developed at that point. And when I went in the military, I was the smallest guy, and I had these guys, drill sergeants, yelling at me up in my face, screaming at me, "Hey, Pee Wee, you little son of a bitch!" Just up in my face, and I just had a smile on my face the whole time, and they couldn't understand it. And it sort of came out unbeknownst to me, because I wasn't really thinking about it. It never being yelled at really didn't bother me. And it sort of came out on the day that we were doing our graduation, because they let you go off base to, sort of have that big wind down. Next day, you've got graduation ceremony, and of course, everybody's going to go off and drink. I'm underage, like severely underage, and I was able to still get alcohol and get absolutely hammered. I mean, hammered more than, I don't think I've ever been that drunk in my life. Tequila is what someone waved in front of my nose, and I managed to get my head out the window and throw up, which I think is the only thing that started sobering me up. But they called formation. We had to be in formation right before graduation, and we're all running across. I don't even remember. I just remember I was running really fast with a bunch of other people to get in formation, because at midnight or 10 o'clock or some crap like that, we were supposed to be in formation. And it was just make sure everybody was back on base, and they were going to, toss us into our beds. And, next morning we had our, graduation, and I'm standing there wavering, and the drill sergeant is yelling, and he's trying to get me. You tried to drink Germany dry. Oh yeah, my cousin did too. He it's up in her face, and he's yelling at me, "Pee Wee, you're gonna throw up." And I'm just like, "No, drill sergeant, I already threw up." And he's sort of smirks a little bit, and he comes back to me, and he says, "Pee Wee, I'm still gonna break you. I've got another day to break you. I just need to get you running." And I said, "Well, running might do it, drill sergeant." He goes, "Nothing phases you." And he's like, "I don't understand." And I said, "Well, drill sergeant, my mother was 10 times meaner than you could ever be. The push-ups got me in shape, drill sergeant, but yelling at me was just like going home." And I was drunk, of course. But I actually went and visited him while I was doing my schooling, because I did my schooling at Fort Jackson also, just basically over the hill. And went back, and and smoked a cigarette with him, and I was talking with him, and he was just like, uh, I served in. He looks at me. He goes, I served in Vietnam, and he goes, you're the first one that I actually watched become a man while in the military, going from being this 120 pound, thin as a rail, couldn't do a push up to save his life, couldn't do a pull up if there was a fire under him, to being someone that just, I think I was probably about 5'9" at the time, and able to match push-ups for all the big guys, and able to run like a bat out of hell, and be able to do push-ups, pull-ups, keeping up with everybody. Quite impressed. And I said, well, Drill Sergeant, that's because you guys actually fed me and kept me busy the whole time. I didn't have any time to exercise. That being said, I didn't have a youth. My youth was completely misspent. So whenever I got out of the military at 19, where most people would be going in the military, when I got out of the military at 19, I I went wild. I didn't cut my hair until I was, geez, well into my 30s. So I had hair down, down my back. I was I was a rough looking motherfucker by the time that I decided to clean myself up. Like I said, I would I would get rid of all these wrinkles in a heartbeat. Go back and tell my younger self, you should have just kept running. Like, damn. So it's hard getting back into it, and now the knees don't work like they used to. Bah, sucks. Anyhow, off of my tangents, I should probably chill on that a little bit. So on November 1st, 2021, so this is, a little bit under 2 years ago, a little bit over 2 years ago, he claimed the Heavenly Father told him to give the most precious thing that he has, his girl's virtue, to three of his male followers in a group sex act. Okay, that isn't good. According to audio and video recordings cited in the affidavit, one of the girls involved was just 12 years old. Yeah, we all fall short, but at least I'm back to running. When I got out of the military, I actually ran the 2.5 mile run, and you know what that is, because if you were in the Army, you did it. I did the 2.5 mile run in a pair of jump boots in New Mexico, and it was, when we started, it was about 7 o'clock in the morning. It was about 90 degrees out, and I was wearing jump boots. I ran the 2.5 mile in jump boots and did that in about 11 minutes and 40 seconds. I paced myself with another guy, and he actually dogged me out at the last minute. I think he came in at about 10 minutes. I mean, that dude was fast as hell, but c'est la vie. That was the last run that I did in the military, and I think that's probably why my knees are so jacked. That, or just, working so much. I was a mechanic for years, so that constant, kneeling down, getting up, weird positions, didn't do really well for the knees. But hey, at least I still can walk. Maybe not run as fast as I used to, but I can. Not as bad as some of the other guys were. Yeah, that's a good time. Yeah, that I actually got heat stroke during those maneuvers, because I was actually National Guard. But yeah, the maneuvers were hell. We had temperatures that at night, that was the coldest night that we had. The temperatures were running somewhere around 115 degrees in the shade. And then it would drop down to about 100 at night, and that went on for almost the entire 2 weeks. We had one guy get lost out in the desert and almost die. He just had gone off to take a leak and sort of heat stroked it a little bit and got confused and couldn't find his way back. They actually had to send out search parties. He was missing for about 2 days, and whenever they found him, he was just severely dehydrated. Luckily, he didn't die. What was not uncommon for people to get pretty sick, and I got mild heat stroke. Just I'd been up for I think 48 hours, 52 hours, somewhere around in there, straight, because I was refueling, and I had a 5-ton tanker that I had to drive into El Paso or White Sands Missile Range. I'd drive into White Sands, fuel up, and then drive back out and empty those two 1,500-gallon, tanks into the 19 Cav Scout. Ah, dude. Yeah. 11 Bravos. Man, oh man. Yeah, the grunts at 11 Bravos did not have I actually transferred units. I went because I was in New Mexico, and I knew that I was going to be going back to Indiana for a short period of time, and for me to keep up with all of this stuff, I actually had to switch MOSs and was 11 Bravo for the unit because of my skills with a rifle. They actually made me the sharpshooter for my unit. And that was the first time I ever got to fire an M4. Boy, that was a blast of a weapon to fire. And I felt very, very inadequate when I got back to New Mexico and went to the firing range. And there was a guy out there with an M14 at about 1,500 feet. He was hitting. His shot was about like that, and then he moved back to 2,500, and it just increased a little bit. Of course, he had a spotter, but he was doing this with an M14. I was like, yeah, I'm completely inadequate for this. I mean, I'm a good shot, but this guy was the shit. Yeah, Fort Bliss. Fort Bliss was. Is that in Killeen, Texas? I want to say that's where Killeen is. Is that correct? Fort Bliss. We whenever I was touring with a band, Killeen was one of the places that we played. There was a little bar there that was pretty cool. We showed up and we got invited to a party that was out in the middle of fucking nowhere. When I say it was out in the middle of nowhere, it was like El Paso. Fort Bliss is that right? Because I mean that's where I did my MEPS. Yeah, I did my MEPS in El Paso. Stayed at the Plaza Hotel because where I lived was in Hobbs, New Mexico, and they would give us a bus ride out to El Paso, and I actually had to go to MEPS twice because although I had enlisted the day before I was originally supposed to leave for basic training, I got hit by a car and snapped my left tibia and fibula, or fibula, tibia, whatever. I broke my left leg down close to the ankle, snapped it in two. So I had to go back and do prove that I could actually lift and walk. So that was interesting. But yeah, so I did that in El Paso. We stayed at the Plaza. A couple of guys didn't actually were able to go into the military because, well, they were screwing around with prostitutes, from across the border, and got a little too drunk the night before. And, well, yeah, that's right, Fort Bliss. I'm trying to think what is around Killeen. I know there's another Army base around Killeen, Texas, but El Paso is El Paso. Yeah, and I did pipeline construction in El Paso too. Doing it on the side of the highway. It was insanely hot in El Paso. Um, and if you didn't get the chance to go out to White Sands Missile Range in El Paso and see the Glass Lake, that right there is amazing. Absolutely amazing. That was just right up the road from El Paso and Alamogordo. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. White sand as far as the eye can see. And this beautiful lake that's made out of glass where they dropped the first nuclear bomb. Yeah, that was quite crazy. So in 2019, Bateman began to proclaim he was a prophet. Well, he was just a little late to it. I was claiming I was a prophet in about 2016, but you know, I had to take all of them out. Just kidding. No, I never would do that. Claim myself a prophet or take people out unwarranted. There we go. Burn a little bit of the phlegm out of my throat. So in 2006, Jess was on the FBI's 10 most wanted list for his flight from charges that arranged illegal marriages between his adult male followers and underage girls in Utah. He was charged with multiple crimes involving the sexual assault of minors in 3 states. And he's currently serving a life sentence for sexual assaulting some of his underage wives. Dude, this guy's shitty. Man, if you're going to start a religion, don't be touching the kids. That's just that's not a good way to do it. Start a religion, do it right. You know, just you know, just preach the word, whatever that word might be, and hopefully that word does not ever involve children. I do not condone of that. I don't care if you want to have 20 wives, as long as they're all of legal consenting age, more power to you. But it's whenever you start messing with the kids, that's just creepy to me. I don't get that. So what I had found, because you were talking about this a minute ago, the wonderful suitcase crazy person. So I pulled this up right here. And this is the interrogation of our suitcase murderer, Sarah Boone. Yes, that person. And
I'm gonna have you sit
that's,
in the green chair that doesn't move. Appreciate you coming in.
Yes, ma'am. I want to ask you about these whenever we have a moment.
Sure.
mm,
So obviously, he received his autopsy. So I'm gonna read you your rights again because we have to talk about that. And since I'm talking about the incident, we just have to do it, just like
I hate that upspeak. We have to talk about that.
we did
Normal
yesterday.
protocol.
Just like we did yesterday. Remember I read you the rights, your rights? Yeah, so it's the exact same thing, but since I'm asking you follow-up questions, I need to read them to you, okay?
Sure.
All right, so you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say may be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer before and during questioning without charge. If you cannot afford a lawyer and want one, one can be provided for you before questioning without charge.
This guy needs to set up in his chair. He really does. Set up in your chair. Set up in your chair, because you just look like you don't care.
Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything to get you to talk to me?
Daily. I'm threatened daily. I'll blink twice. Save me. Save me. No, just kidding.
No.
And do you understand what I just read you?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
My advice would be, at this point, you get a lawyer. Somebody's reading you your rights. Get a lawyer. I don't care. I am not a lawyer. I work for a lawyer, but I am not a lawyer. And I will tell you, if somebody's reading you your rights, get your lawyer. Don't say anything.
So this morning we went to his autopsy, and we were informed of some injuries that he has.
Some? What injuries did he have? Do tell.
By the doctor. So I want.
Where?
So he had some injuries by the doctor. I don't know if you caught that. That's what you said. Injuries by the doctor.
And we were informed of some injuries that he has by the doctor.
See? He had injuries by the doctor. Yeah, they even tell cops get a lawyer. People do not follow this advice. They just don't follow it. You get pulled over by a police officer, answer their questions, yes, no, and don't elaborate, because you're being recorded. And they can say whatever they want to. It's like, yes, sir, no, sir. Where are you going? I am going northbound on I-85. That's all you need to tell them. Well, are you visiting somebody? I don't see if that's a issue. Let me know. But I'm driving north on I-85. Do you know how fast you were going? Yes, officer. Or if you don't know how fast you're going, which I've been pulled over for that before, say, no, officer. Don't lie. Tell the truth. You're right. As soon as you're getting pulled over by a cop, you are being questioned. They are inquiring as to what you're doing, where you're going, why you're doing that. And they're pulling you over for a reason. And you're not obligated to give them any more information, and you don't have to worry about it. Because more than likely, as long as you're not an asshole to them, you're polite, courteous, say thank you, use all common courtesy, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be pretty chill. I got pulled over for doing, I think doing 110 on my motorcycle. This is a big cruiser, 1100, Honda Shadow 1100, and I'm heading out to Hilton Head and past this car because they were driving stupid. They just kept doing this really weird, like 4 cars bobbing and weaving amongst each other. And I was like, you know what? I goosed it, went around them. And of course there just was a cop sitting right up there, and he popped me, pulled me over. Said, do you know why I'm pulling you over? I was like, yes, sir. I go, you realize you were going over the speed limit? Yes, sir. Good. He goes, I'm gonna write you down for going, 20 miles an hour over the speed limit. Keep it easy. And he goes, I ride too. I understand. He goes, but I've got to give you a ticket. You were speeding. Yes, sir. So he told me if I call the day before, he would talk to the judge and get it dismissed. So I ended up with like a $56 fine, something like that, and no points taken off my license. Yeah, always polite, absolutely. And a lot of these A lot of these guys that get into it with cops, that's all you got to do. Just yes sir, no sir, and they always have a chip on their shoulder, and it's not a black, white, Hispanic, any of that thing. It is just they have a chip on their shoulder. They've got power, and just don't give them any reason. I mean, don't ever give them any reason. If they ask to search a car, ask to, see a warrant. It's not impolite to say that. Me, I was on a motorcycle and he just asked where I was going. Just heading out of town, heading away from Atlanta. And he was cool about it, just said, hey, have a nice trip. Thank you, officer. You have a safe day. See you, bye. Pay my ticket and done. No points taken off my license. Sweet deal.
So I want,
Where?
so he's got scratch marks to his back.
Sounds kinky. Scratch marks.
I know what that's from.
Okay.
Oh, she knows where that's from. If I'm not mistaken, he was getting those from somebody else.
And it's called a contusion. Do you know what a contusion is? So like basically you're getting hit and then you get a mark from it. You'll get bruising.
Oh, I wonder if she was giving him a little bit of a couple of kicks. From what I understand, and I could be wrong in this, but she just sort of wouldn't help this boy out with the suitcase. And it's heart-wrenching to think dude is trapped inside of a suitcase and she's pissed, from what I understand, about him stepping out a little bit. And that's, a woman scorned. Just saying.
Like someone hit you or something like that. It's called a contusion. So he had some injuries to his left shoulder. He had a cut near his lip. We could see his mouth was a little.
I haven't laid a hand on him.
Okay.
Oh, hadn't laid a hand on him. Girl needs to stop coughing though.
Also, too, he fell off my son's bike.
Okay.
So
Fell off my son's bike. Why was he on your son's bike?
I don't know. And he's notorious for running into the wall.
Okay. That's a weird way of putting that. He is notorious for running into the wall.
Or the hall tree. So I.
Okay. What about the scratches? Because there's also sex.
Yes.
Okay. Because there's.
Yeah, it might have been from sex. It wasn't with her, but it might have been sex.
It's also like a scratch on the back of his neck, kind of going, but it's going straight across.
I have no idea what that's from.
And they're all recent. They occurred recently. It wasn't something that occurred post or that occurred a week ago or 2 days ago, 3 days ago. They definitely occurred, the night leading up to when he was.
In all honesty, we have not gotten into it.
Okay.
That's why, the only thing I thought you guys were going to ask me about, which I was going to be honest with you anyway, are the scratch marks on his back.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, I have no idea what it is. No idea what it is. Nonetheless, I've had my son over the house too, so.
Well, your son was there when? When was he last there?
Oh, gosh.
From my understanding, he was there
Okay.
last Tuesday?
I don't know if it was Tuesday, but yes, he was there last week, so.
Well, we're talking about Sunday.
Yeah.
We're just talking about what occurred Sunday. Because like I said, the injuries they occurred within that time period.
So you're talking about day before yesterday?
Sunday leading into Monday. You called us yesterday at 1, but the incident, you guys were painting and stuff the night prior.
Correct.
So we're talking about Sunday and then
That's
into
why
Monday.
I'm thoroughly confused, because we had a good time sitting on the back porch, having wine and smoking a couple of cigarettes, and then decided to go inside and literally paint, do puzzles, and play.
paint, puzzles to play. We had some wine, cigarettes, paint, puzzles, and play.
Listen to music. That's why.
Listening to the easy sounds of the 70s jazz trios.
Nobody got out of sorts. This is what's mind-blowing to me. Like, I have no clue. Nobody laid a hand on anybody.
He also had, like on the left side of his forehead, he had basically bruising, and on like his head, his skull,
I have no idea.
as if something hit him.
I
Considered
have not
blunt force
touched him.
trauma.
I have not touched him. I have not touched him.
How would you get those injuries?
Tell me and we'll both know.
Oh, I have not touched him. I have not touched him. I don't know how he got those injuries.
I have not touched him.
Yesterday, when we took photographs of your overall body, and they did the buccal swabs, did they go under your fingernails?
No.
Okay. Are you willing to let us
Absolutely.
swab underneath your fingernails?
Go for it.
Swab it.
Okay.
I have
Robin.
no idea, and I don't want
Oh,
to seem
tender.
out of sorts, but I have no idea. We had a good day.
Mhm.
It was a good day. We've had good days lately,
Mhm.
even considering everything that's going on with our jobs and life in general. And
I
lives
think
and
she
everything.
does because
It's been
it's going to
good.
come out.
Like, I don't even know where this is coming from.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think the
even know.
last physical was probably, you said, I think, what, a month ago, where you got the injury, right? You said that was a
I'll
month
say a few
ago?
weeks, give or take, yeah.
A few weeks. That was the last like physical altercation between the two of you? You said a month ago you hit you with a curtain rod.
Yeah, with her. That's why I can't believe you guys didn't take that either.
Oh,
Huh.
yeah. Some old
Like, we've been good.
Forester.
I don't know if, like,
Some
the
rye.
last time he got out of jail, like, we've been good, and he's been having his classes
Mhm.
and seeing his probation officer, who's amazing. So,
What do you mean by good? What's your definition of good?
the probation
he-
officer,
Oh, no, you said you guys have been good. What's your definition?
I've
of
been
good?
good.
Oh, she's been good. I've been good. He's been seeing his probation officer, and well, it gets deeper than that, of course.
I don't think you all understand. He comes at me all the time.
Oh, so he comes at her. I don't know why. The haircut like that, I wouldn't come at her.
He comes at me. So it's either I flee or try to go upstairs and go to sleep. That's usually what it is. And I don't know if you talked to Brian about any of that, but most of the time when I flee, I go over there. So
So who's Brian? Is this Brian you're speaking of? You go over to Brian's house? Who's Brian?
Right, but you're saying that you guys have been good, and when I asked you yesterday, there hasn't, the last incident that you could remember was the curtain rod incident, which you said was a month ago. So,
give or take,
right. So what do you mean by he comes after you? Like,
he gets belligerently drunk.
mhm,
Like, I don't know if y'all
No.
have looked through my phone yet and seen any of the pictures and the videos that I have taken.
mhm.
And at one point, I started documenting everything.
Okay.
So you all will see in my pictures, bloody fingers, split foreheads. He split my nose. I've got this.
Right.
I don't know, Brian,
A
told me
leg?
about it, where I had to have almost I had one really bad surgery, but then it got really, 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 really bad where I had to go like
She's got
4 or
chicken
5 more times
legs.
afterwards and then tend to it. And
Mhm.
then poking me in the back of the leg.
Right.
So it's,
Then why are you still with him?
everybody asks me that. When I tell you guys this, I really love him. Like I do.
Oh, bring on the sobs. Bring on the sobs. I really love him. I really do. No.
Too. And I feel like I can help him. Like I feel like I could help him, which I did because he came a really long way from where he was in Philadelphia to moving back to here and to dealing with everything else that he's been dealing with.
She likes the bad boys. She likes the bad boys. She likes it. She likes it rough, dirty. Ooh.
I've really helped him. I bailed him out of jail, 3 times?
Okay. Tell you a little story. A little story here. So, being a musician, you don't make a whole lot of money, so you sort of, find things to do, whether it be, picking up a job as a mechanic. I just happened to be at this period in my life. I was working at a pizza place delivering pizzas. It was a local pizza joint, really, really, really good pizza, really good business. I could pull in easy during day shift. I could pull in, a couple $100 in tips, and I would sometimes work a couple shifts just to, pull in. I mean, after maybe a total of 8 hours, I'd be walking out of there with anywhere between $500 to $800, and that was just regular. And of course, I had roommates, all of them trapped him in a suitcase. Yes, loved him so much that I just couldn't let him go. So had like 5-6 roommates. It's hard to keep track whenever you have these many people living in a house. And one night, a few of them go out and are, drinking, having a good time. And this one particular guy was a passenger, and he'd been drinking. They had a designated driver. They weren't doing anything illegal. They get pulled over, and the cops are, sort of questioning the driver and talking to him and, giving him, field sobriety. And he, of course, it's probably 2:00 in the morning. He was working late and sort of hanging out with all of the other roommates. Well, this one particular roommate decides to get mouthy with a cop. Because, of course, alcohol sort of allowed him to do that. He gets mouthy with the cop. The cop runs his check on him and finds out that he's got a warrant in another county, probably for something minor. Not like he killed somebody, just, could have been a speeding ticket, but he had a warrant out for him in another county. And so the cop arrests him and hauls him off to jail because they've got to basically transfer him from one county to another, so he can finish out his time or whatever. And dude's girlfriend was there with him, and she sees him get arrested. Everybody shows back up. Really sucks that, I don't even remember this kid's name, Kyle or something like that. Kyle got arrested. So he's in jail, and we're working on trying to get him out, but we don't know if we're going to be able to get him out. And this is nearing the end of the month. This is just girlfriend that's living there. And she comes to me and says, you got anything that you can chip in to get him out of jail, get him bailed out? And I looked at her and I said, okay, let's think about this logically. He's got a roof over his head. Our rent is due on the 30th this month. On the 30th, it's due, our rent. If we don't have all of our money for rent, we will be evicted from this house. Girlfriend looks at me and goes, well, that's sort of mean that you're going to do this. And I said, okay. Like I said, he's going to have a roof over his head. He's not going anywhere. If he gets bailed out, what do you think he's going to do? Do you think he's going to be able to pay everybody back for getting him out of jail? I said, or is he going to continue on with the same dumb shit he did? I said, more than likely he's going to have to spend 30 days and he's going to get out. The rest of us will be out of a home. So if you don't have your part of the rent, then we can't bail him out. My money is not going to bail him out because he has a place to stay. I want to keep a place to stay. And if you don't have your part of the rent, that means I've got to come up with your part of the rent, and you will not have a place to stay. Yeah, he didn't get out of jail. He ended up spending his 30 days. I don't play with this kind of shit. Unlike this chickie baby, because she can't help it. She loves him so much.
I've gone to every single hearing and every single arraignment, everything that I did for him. Gone to see all his public defenders, go to the state. I've gone to the state. I did everything for him because I'm trying to help him, because I had hope in him.
I have so much hope in him. Aww.
And he was trying. He was really trying. And then he starts to think
He wasn't really trying, and just he starts to think about
things, and I think he gets overwhelmed. And then it's like, next thing I know, he's drinking. So it's like, oh man, I know where this is going to go. So I'm going to go upstairs and read a book, or I'm going to go for a bike ride, or I'm going to do something else.
So this guy must be doing some day drinking, or she does some night bicycling. Just saying.
I don't want to drink. The occasional wine.
She doesn't want to drink, but man, She looks like she's got some other habit because those are some chicken legs on this woman.
whatever, or if it's a weekend. That's when you have a good time. You don't have to wake up the next day. I have to wake up the next day and do things. I have to tend to Lucas. I have to take him to school. I have all this stuff to do. He doesn't know how to, I guess, maintain himself where I can do 50 things at once and still know the 50 things more previously.
Ah, methamphetamines. That's what it is.
Prior that I need to get done. He can't process like that. He didn't process like that. So he would literally, not literally, but have smoke coming out of his ears.
Smoke coming out of his ears. That sounds like a medical issue.
So the next thing you know, he doesn't want to deal with it. I'm going to go get something to drink. So the majority of the time, I would hang out outside or do something else because I don't want to drink. And every time, his job broke his heart. And it made me sad because he had so much pride in his job.
His job broke his heart. Yeah. Yeah, it's like weird. It's like weird skinny too. Like not proportional, and she's got sort of like the stuff that's hanging down that's like, yeah, it looks like meth to me.
And the store that he took care of so much totally went downhill.
Mhm.
And that broke his heart because he had put so much work and effort into fixing it up. And his manager was awful and basically gave up on all of the employees. So I think that had a huge bearing on why he would drink so much. His ex-wife is bonkers.
Mhm.
She was all over him all the time. Send me money, send me money, send me money. How can I
So, dude has an ex-wife. He's in and out of prison. He's got new wife here that's got legs like a chicken.
do money when I don't have a job? And he's still trying to take care of me and Lucas by paying a bill here or there, getting some groceries. So he always had something on his mind, which is why, again, I got the puzzles and the paint to try to get him off of it so we don't have a drink.
He's got the puzzles and the paint, so we get him off so he don't have a drink.
Or he doesn't have a drink. So when you all see my phone, you can see all of the damage he has done to me and the videos of him smashing my television because he's belligerently drunk. Where most of the time, I just don't want to be there. And I try to help him.
Well, if you don't want to be there, it's real simple. You say, go away. But she can't because, well, you know, where else is she going to get some? I mean, she's been around the block quite a bit, apparently, because if she's got a child named Lucas, where is daddy for Lucas? Just saying. It ain't him, so it could be, you know, well, it could be anybody at that bar.
Try to calm him down. Eventually, he just passes out.
Well, that's sort of the point. You get drunk enough, you can totally pass out. That's sort of the effects of heavy alcohol.
Yesterday, I made it sound like you guys were just drinking like a glass or
Cheers.
two. Like, yeah, you obviously had the bottle, but you told me on the, but you told me on recording, like, that you were not drunk, he was not drunk, you guys were having a good time.
I can't get drunk. No.
Oh, I can't get drunk, like I said. Methamphetamines are really good whenever you've been drinking quite a bit of alcohol.
Number one, I do not want to get drunk. I don't like being non-complimentous, having my way.
She don't like being non-complimentous. I don't know what non-complimentous is. Non-complimentous. Is that non-complimentary? Maybe she means.
About myself. I don't like feeling out of control.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm just saying you're making it sound like he's a raging alcoholic today, and yesterday I was kind of asking you those questions and you're like a little defensive, like, no, we're not alcoholics.
I'm not.
We are not.
Oh, I'm not an alcoholic. No, not me. My juice of choice goes sort of up my nose or in my veins. Not, you know, I would never drink to the point that I was out of control. I mean, I'm not saying I think she non-complimented. Probably.
you know? But you guys were both sober on Sunday, to your knowledge, because when I said you went and passed out, you were like, no, I didn't pass out, I just fell asleep. So now it's kind of like, what is it? Were you guys drinking and it got out of hand and
No,
it got physical?
No.
Or is it,
No,
Sunday
never.
was one of the better days that we have had in quite some time. He's dancing with my dog. You can see
Okay. Is that what you call it now? Dancing with your dog. Okay.
that too on the pictures, him loving the dog. He loves
This just sounded a little too weird for me. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You do you, man. You're dancing with the dog. Gotcha. He loves the dog.
the dog.
Maybe that's where those scratch marks came from. He might have been loving that dog too much.
And dancing around, having a good time, and just being happy, kind of thing. He doesn't know. I can get like maybe 2-3 glasses of wine, and I'll be fine. But
I can get maybe 2 or 3 glasses of wine. Were they mega pints? Like, I don't know. How many? How do you consider a glass of wine? And what kind of wine are you drinking there, sweet cheeks?
I have to have my wits about myself because I don't know what to expect.
well, let's talk about Sunday.
Always know what to expect if you've been drinking alcohol, because as tonight I am drinking some rye. I always know what to expect whenever I've been drinking alcohol. That if I drink enough of it, I am going to be completely obliterated. That's just me. Hoorah.
Okay, what was Sunday? How were you? Like, how many glasses of wine did you have? How many glasses of wine did he have? The bottle was gone. I mean, I don't know if you poured.
Well, let's put it this way. I can finish off an entire bottle of wine in one night without thinking about it. But it's not like I sit down and open up a bottle of wine and have that bottle just tipped up and gone by the end of the night. What may happen is I'm just using this as an example, at 6 o'clock at night, I may open up that bottle of wine and it starts getting a little bit of air in there, get a little bit of oxygenation. It starts opening that wine up a little bit. Maybe I decant it. If it's good enough wine, that's what I may do. If it's not that good of a wine, it's just something that I'm enjoying, I may use some of it to actually cook with. Just depends on what I'm cooking. But I may pour myself a little bit of wine, and I'll have some of that wine while I'm cooking, as will my wife while I'm cooking. She might be doing something else, like queuing up a movie that we're going to watch that night. And then, of course, we'll have our dinner. We'll cook that all up. It'll be, for example, a steak. So we'll cook up a couple of steaks. Everything will, do some Brussels sprouts with a little balsamic vinegar, some shallots, and throw a little bit of balsamic over the top of that. Maybe add a little sriracha, a little bit of garlic, sear them up nice and gently, and those might come out with the steak. So when that's all done, might sit down and, my glass is empty. Of course, this has been at least a good, 20, 30 minutes, maybe longer. And then throughout my dinner, I'll sip on my wine, finish out my wine. At the end of that wonderful dinner, I might look down and say, oh, wow, I'm a little low. Hun, would you like some? Pour her a little more, pour me a little more. And we might end up watching a 2-hour movie. And by the end of the night, oh, well, geez, we've got, more than half the bottle is gone between the two of us. And that was wonderful. And then I say, yes, dear, I think I'm going to go watch some horrible YouTube videos because, I'm a sick degenerate like that, while she decides she's going to chill in bed and maybe read a book. And then, of course, I'll pour her a little more. I'll finish off the bottle. That's how I can go through a whole bottle of wine in a night with my wife. And I am not drunk enough as this woman is. I don't know. 2-3 glasses of wine. I'm thinking they're doing a little more than just wine. Just saying.
Poured any out? Yes.
No, that was from previous.
You said that there was a half bottle left
Yeah,
over.
that was much.
And then, that you had well, I don't even know how the wine, how'd you guys get the wine for Sunday?
Well, in certain places, if you're getting wine for Sunday, you have to get the wine on Saturday because they don't serve on Sundays. I know in Georgia, you can actually get alcohol on Sundays, but only after 12:30. At least where I live, different counties have different rules, but in DeKalb County, Georgia, you do not have to worry about that. And that's pretty recent, within the past 10 years. But it used to be that you could not get alcohol in certain counties on Sundays. So that might be why she's asking this.
I'm guessing he went to Publix.
Does he like leave the house and you stay home, or do you go to Publix? Like, cause I
Sometimes I'll go with him.
Okay. Did you go with him Sunday to
No.
Publix?
So most of the time what happens is, because the convenience store where we get cigarettes is here, and then Publix literally is cattywampus to it.
Okay.
So what he'll do is he'll go by
It's Caddy Corner. Cattywampus is not Caddy Corner. It's Cattywampus, but Cattywampus is different than Caddy Corner.
Publix, and then on the way back, catch the convenience store.
Okay.
So
Is that what he did Sunday?
I'm guessing that's what he did, because next thing I know, he's walking in with a bottle.
Okay.
So it's him trying to be nice, so I don't have to go out and do it. Plus, there's stuff that are around the house that I had to take care of. So that's usually what will happen.
Yeah, she's like snorting lines of coke. Up here in Indiana. Oh, so you're in Indiana? Well, whereabouts in Indiana are you? Because I actually have family that's from Indiana. Most specifically, I have family that lives in Troy, Terre Haute, Tobinsport. Well, they don't live in Tobinsport anymore, although they did quite some time ago. And I used to, whenever I was in between jobs, I went to go work in Indiana with my uncle, and I was working in Owensboro, which is across the river from, what is that? I can't remember the name of the town. Hossville. Hossville is where the bridge is. Oh, you're in Terre Haute right now? Excellent, excellent. Well, if you're in Terre Haute, my aunt runs a nice little shop in I'm trying to think of the name of the town. Tell City. She runs a like secondhand shop there in Tell City. That's the name of the town that's right across from Hossville. It's Tell City. Yep, Terre Haute's pretty cool. Love me some Indiana falls and summers. My grandparents' house, that was the place to be. Oh, yeah.
Or I'm folding laundry and he'll go run out and do whatever.
So where were you guys
He's
at
not-
on drunkenness, not drunkenness on Sunday?
I
You told us you weren't drunk.
No, I was not drunk.
Right.
I was not drunk. So with him,
And most people don't understand. It's not Louisville. It's Louisville. Yeah, you know where Tell City is. Yeah, Tell City's just right up the road. I actually have an aunt that lives in Terre Haute. But yeah, Tell City's just right up the road. And you go a little bit further, and then you've got Rome, where it splits off, and you would head up to Rome. If you just keep going until that road dead ends after you go through Tell City, you'll hit a little town called Tobinsport. And Tobinsport, people would say, yeah, I drove through Tobinsport. And that would be absolutely impossible because Tobinsport ends at the river, at the Ohio River. And there's, you just basically have to turn around and go back. I think the population, whenever my grandparents lived there, was about 57, 57, something like that. It was like insanely small. They would take the high water road to go. I used to do some squirrel hunting up there whenever I was a youngster. It was an absolute blast. I think the limit on that was like 19 squirrels or something like that. Oh yeah. Those were my summers and falls.
I don't know. I know when it's like, oh, okay, man, where I have told him, slow down. It's starting to catch up with you. Slow down. Slow down.
Slow down.
And another thing too is I don't like listening to music with him because
Oh, come on. Now you got to love listening to music with him. What's wrong with you, woman? Love the music. Yes, there are lots of tiny places, lots of tiny places. And man, the that area is so beautiful. See, like I said, I grew up in Illinois. So little suburb of Chicago that I grew up in, Kankakee, Illinois. Um, and every summer, at the beginning of summer, mother would drive us all the way down to Tobinsport, my grandparents were, or she would stop off in Terre Haute, um, or yeah, because we didn't stay in Tell City. It was, and that's what we did every summer. That was, our summer break was basically spent in Indiana, and it was, summers spent walking through the woods with my grandfather. And you cannot imagine just that peacefulness and beauty of such a beautiful state. As just a beautiful state. And of course they really don't like Kentucky, and Kentucky doesn't like the Hoosiers at all. So you get that too. Yes.
As he gets too involved in the music, and the music that he listens to is a little rough around the edges, and like
boots and cats, boots and cats, and boots and cats, and boots and cats, and boots and cats. Yeah, I bet this guy listened to like Marilyn Manson. It was rough around the edges. Maybe he listened to Clutch.
It makes me fractious listening to his music. So,
or it's a possibility that he was like totally into Britney Spears. I had a buddy of mine that's from England. His favorite musician, and I joke, not is Britney Spears, which is pretty funny because he looks like an assassin. Just if you saw a picture of him, you would actually be like, yeah, this dude looks like an assassin. He's from England, and his favorite, Britney Spears. Just like you name a song by Britney Spears, and he's like, you would know it. Yes.
Oh, I kept asking him, let's just you and me talk. You and me will just be the ones that are talking, which was fine because I mean we were playing with the dog, whatever, and then it's like, okay.
Oh, so they're both playing with the dog, listening to little.
Now let's do the painting.
Yes. Now, back whenever I was in Hollywood, it's California, not Florida, not Hollywood, South Carolina, but Hollywood, California, I ran into a legit like meth head, and she was absolutely drop dead gorgeous. And this is back before meth really was taking off. I'm sure it did. Even during that time, just I was a little more naive to it. And just having something to do with your hands, she was like, here, have some of this. And I'd been on tour, and I would like Coke, whatever, just get a little bit upper. Getting high on meth was unbelievable. I think I probably broke 10 teeth just clutching my jaw. I could never do it again after that. It was like, this is absolutely horrible. I felt so bad after that crap. But that was just, you're constantly wanting to do something. You're either wanting to clean or just move about. You can't stand still, and you're just grinding your teeth. And oh my God, it was just no. And seeing this woman reminds me of a lot of meth heads. Just that constant, just, and if you're on any kind of drugs like this, just stop, get help, please. It's bad shit.
Just did the puzzle, took a break. Now let's do this. Sure enough, sat down. We're sitting in there talking, laughing, talking about new movies. We're watching movie trailers.
Watch the movie, not the trailers.
While we're doing painting and all that other stuff. So it's still background noise to him, because I think that's what he's used to, is having background noise. Where me, I can sit in here all day with not a peep.
I don't see that. If you left her in there for at least an hour, she'd be crawling out of her skin, crawling up that wall.
He always has to have some kind of background noise, which I didn't mind because the trailers were cool. And he was interested in showing them to me, getting excited about movies that were out or upcoming.
Okay.
So,
On your laptop you're talking about?
Mhm.
Like, okay.
and I mean, and then it was,
But you said it was a good day, like, you guys didn't have any conversations about your relationship, you guys didn't go down, like, the rabbit hole, like, had too many to drink, and you guys start getting,
No, when I tell you this, it made me so happy that he actually listened to what I had to say with just, we'll get through it. This will be fine. It's just, it's a small hurdle that you and
I think she's used to him ignoring her and not wanting to have anything to say to her.
together will get through because
I'm talking about the money, jobs,
daughters,
stress,
yes,
nothing
No.
relationship-wise, though, like, no issues, like, did you guys have a conversation about your relationship, or was it just about,
just
Like the
what's
stress.
going on right now.
Got it.
I try to evoke it from him so he gets it off his chest because I call him the volcano where eventually he's going to erupt.
Oh, yeah. I bet he does. I bet he erupts all right.
And what he has learned in his classes is to communicate, which is a huge thing in a relationship,
right?
where he has been practicing communication. So he actually talks to me about things and unburdens himself. Put it on me. I'll sit there and try and figure it out for you. Like I have almost everything.
Oh,
Not a worry. Just
she's
tell
a
me. Get it
figure
out of you.
router.
But it was, when I tell you, I was so happy. Like it was such a good day. I kid you not. The weather was beautiful outside. I'm the one that had him go inside so we can do puzzles and painting and listen to music or whatever else he wants to do. So then he starts doing whatever it is we're doing together in the living room and then starts talking because I think he gets comfortable with, okay, you know what? We're here. It is a good day. Let me go ahead and explain myself. So I know. Nobody else knows, but I know.
But I know.
Nobody knew George better than I did. I say that I knew George better than himself.
Oh,
And
she's
I
a
tried
knower.
every way, shape, and form. Ask everyone.
Ooh.
I helped him. I took care of him. I miss him a lot, and I didn't even sleep last night.
Oh, it might have been the crystal meth.
I miss him a lot.
I mean, is there any chance it got to be too much for you and you couldn't handle taking care of him and
I never stopped.
trying to,
I never stopped. That's what I'm here for. I never stopped. I'm here now because I'm still trying to help him.
yeah, we just don't, I mean, it's unexplainable how he got these injuries, and
I have no idea.
you were the only one with him.
100% right hand to God. I have no idea how he got them. Nobody touched anybody. Nobody touched anybody.
Nobody touched anybody.
You had mentioned that you would take photos, videos, kind of like a proof and just in general.
Yeah, I started documenting at one point, but that was way before, I think, the last time that he got arrested, where he was flying off the deep end. But then I had him bailed out. I got him out of jail.
Right.
But because he had violated the pretrial diversion, this time it's probation, so you don't have a choice in it. You have to go see your probation officer. You have to go to these classes. It's court ordered.
Mm-hmm.
Where it took him a while to get used to it and understand, they're not messing around. I even went down and met his probation officer, which I say she's wonderful. That's one of my questions too I need to talk to you about. Hugged me and said how much she knows that I take care of him. She called me personally one time when George was at work, when he was working. 42-minute phone call. She and I just saying how grateful she is that George has me. And she knows how hard I'm working to help him.
Well, and I will say this is not uncommon for somebody that, works in this kind of, it's really hard to see someone that's absolutely struggling. I have a younger brother that was in and out of jail, just minor shit like shoplifting. It could easily become something more. And of course, luckily at a young age, he got busted for shoplifting. And, being, our family was not good in any aspect. So after I left, I know it probably got a little bit rough on him. But to see him struggle and knowing that there's nothing you could do about it, he actually moved in with both of our older sister, and doing probation. She actually, contacted the probation officer and said, we're trying to get him out of the state that he's in, and that might be a problem, and trying to get him to sign over a release for him to travel to another state. And it was, sort of heartbreaking in a sense, because this probation officer doesn't want to have an extra person to deal with, especially for something as minor as just shoplifting. And they're so thankful to have somebody that actually cares about them. So she's not wrong in this, saying that, a probation officer is having a long discussion with her. They're also sort of feeling out the situation to make sure that it is, it is a safe place for them to be, and they're going to stay out of trouble. Unfortunately, this guy couldn't stay out of trouble. Yeah, imagine it was rough stuff. I will tell you, families are absolutely rough, and it's got, man, I feel for this guy. And I've seen people do like really stupid shit throughout their lives, and I don't know if it's just they get distracted or what. I was by far a good boy growing up, but there were certain lines I wouldn't cross. I didn't rob, didn't steal. That was something that as a young child it was like a klepto thing. I would like snag little trinkets, and one time I got busted. Oh my God. And my ass got busted hard. And that was the last time that I took something that did not belong to me. And I don't think my little brother got that. He was the true rebel in our family, because whenever he would get spankings, he actually would put on multiple pairs of underwear so he would have the padding. So whenever he would get spanked, he wouldn't feel it. He would just sort of laugh it off. Not a good thing to do, but yeah, he was a true rebel. So I can understand that this guy, it's hard for them to get out of the system that they get themselves into. You get into the system, and because you've got all eyes on you all the time, or that's the way it feels to them. They feel like they're constantly being scrutinized. They're having to do piss tests, and they're having to answer to somebody constantly. That's just they feel like there's no end to it. And especially if they just stray off the path a little bit. For you and me, that's not a big deal. Just straying off the path a little bit is okay. Sure, we, did something stupid one night, but we never got in trouble for it. But for them, that one little bitty mistake, it's like they get caught at every single turn. Just that little bitty mistake, and they end up getting more time tacked on to them. And it's disappointing, and it's soul crushing, especially if they're already in that mentality. So they're getting just crushed and crushed and crushed. And, it's really, it feels good for that particular like probation officer or, psychologist or psychiatrist that, this person's actually making progress, and they're unloading. And that's what she's getting. As she's getting unloaded on, she's able to take a little bit of that pressure that he's feeling, and he doesn't feel like he's just out there on his own battling this shit. So, I mean, I feel for her in this aspect. I feel for that probation officer that's letting it go. Yeah, rough stuff.
Just as she is, and just as the class as well. So once he started actually going on a regular basis to the probation officer, and then to his substance abuse class and his I don't know what BIP stands for, Batterers Intervention Program.
Mm.
And actually listening to what it is everyone had to say, he changed. Like I could see a change in him, where before lashing out, he would think about it. And would always come home and show me his papers, and we would look over his papers together. Where it's like, wow, you actually are learning this in class? And some of the stuff that they would show them, like videos, he would come home and be like, Sarah, I'm so sorry for what I've done to you. Because for a video that he watches to make him feel that way, where it's like, oh man, I have done her wrong. But he's changed. He changed.
And that's why you're still with him, even though he's done all these things to you. And
When I tell you I love him, I love him.
And when you love somebody, you have limits.
Everybody tells me that. All my neighbors tell me that. The office, property manager.
At some point, somebody gets enough, then they have to do something to defend themselves.
I would just flee. And I don't know if you would like to see on
She
my
would just
phone.
sleep
I think it's, I
to
think it's
defend
on my
herself.
laptop. I actually, because, and you have to understand too, I have, like, prior to classes in PO, kicked him out. How many times? I had him arrested. How many times?
But you also went down.
Oh, wait. So she was having him arrested too? That's rough.
And bailed him
I
out
know.
the next day.
Because she could feel that clock ticking away. Time keeps on ticking, ticking, ticking into the future.
I know.
What's on your laptop?
What was I going to tell you?
Oh, she's going to tell him something now.
Oh, previously,
Mm-hmm.
Previously on our last episode of As the World Turns, he was sticking his pee-pee in somebody else's, love hole, and, well...
I actually looked up how to file a restraining order.
I didn't see that coming.
Okay.
Because I would take him out, his parents, because of
The sleep defense move. Darling, it is a sleep defense move only because I have a headache. Best thing to do if you've got a significant other that their excuse is, oh, not tonight, darling, I've got a headache or I don't feel well. The best thing to do is cut them off at the pass ahead of time. Ask them, would you like some aspirin? Would you like a back rub? Is there anything I can do for you? Are you feeling okay? Yes, I feel okay. All right, let's do it.
constantly having to take him back in, his bags of clothes, all his stuff. The last time, the father came out and irate and just not even, I don't even know if he knew Lucas was in the car. Just opened the back of my car and started throwing all his crap and just throwing it. Like the car would jostle, he was throwing all his stuff. At that point, because I continually did it, not continually, I think I maybe did it 3 times, and he has nowhere else to go, they got fed up and said, nope, either you're staying there or you're staying here. But if you're staying here at their place, it's permanent. You're not going back over there anymore. So what
It might have been the math.
happens is he pursues me. So I don't know if y'all know where Katie Way Trail is. Okay, so it's literally right there from our apartment. Would ride his bike to work, but before he would leave extra early and come up to the wall, stand on top of his bike and poke his head over because he would know that I would be outside having my morning cigarette and cup of coffee.
She doesn't look like she smokes cigarettes and drinks coffee. Not with a voice like that.
And I would also know too what time he would get off of work, where I would know, come getting off of work, he's gonna do the same thing. So it's not like I ever got like a break from him, where I told you all yesterday or whenever it was. I started to feel that it was too much togetherness. And when you have too much togetherness,
It's called like being with somebody. Let me tell you, too much togetherness, if you enjoy the person that you're with, is absolutely wonderful because you have the best time together. Now, also, in my case, my wife and I, we enjoy our time apart. And that's only because we are a couple of freaking recluses. We're not big socialites, although we enjoy having people at our place and we hang out, have small get-togethers. But we're just, pretty much doing our own thing, chilling out. And, I enjoy my wife's company. I could spend, if I was locked in a room with my wife, we would absolutely have a great time together because we enjoy each other's company. If you're in that position where you don't like being around somebody because they're sort of grating on your nerves, which, my wife can grate on my nerves. It's not perfect. Um, you just find other things to occupy your time. I know I grate on her nerves constantly because I can't shut my fucking mouth most of the time, but hey, that's me.
Friction happened. So I'm gonna go ride my bike. I'm gonna go
I don't think she's riding a bike. I mean, with legs like that, it's I just don't see it happening.
upstairs and read a book. But what he
Now the book I could see. The riding bike, I don't know.
what did he say? Every waking moment he wants to be with me. So, and mind you, our townhome is either upstairs or downstairs. So it's like, if you would like to sit downstairs and watch a movie or play on the laptop, look up some jobs, you're more than welcome to. I'm just going to be upstairs maybe watching one of my shows or maybe reading a book.
Oh man. I will tell you. You don't have to be married. Married is not absolutely necessary. And this is some of the advice that I gave to one of my friends quite some time ago, and he ended up turning out some of the best relationships he ever had. Go out there, talk to people, talk to the opposite sex, and you don't have to be anybody that you're not, and you will find the most interesting people. Talk about things that you enjoy. Don't ever become somebody that you're not. If you're an absolute Trekkie and that is your thing, whenever somebody starts bringing up a conversation of something that you find interesting, and if you truly find it interesting, you converse with them and just enjoy that company and be pleasant to be around. Just because it's nothing. It's just nothing. Weird part is I met my wife and I was actually engaged when I first met my wife. I was engaged to be married. And that girl dumped me like on Christmas Eve. That was prime special sweetheart move of dumping me on Christmas Eve. And then of course calls me the next day and goes, "You want to come over for Christmas?" And I basically told her, "Go F off." She was a cruel woman. My engagement party was the day that she moved in to my boss's house, which actually happened to be right next door. And he had sort of committed me to helping her move in and not realizing that was my engagement party. And that engagement, of course, fell apart. My wife did not know this at the time, that it had completely fallen apart. And I, show up to work every day and I would do my job, and she would come by and she would hang out. She'd be chatting with my boss, which I was like, okay, well, they have these intellectual conversations that I'm not really part of, but I really don't care. I mean, she was really good to look at. I didn't know she was coming over there just to basically see me, because I wasn't really paying a whole lot of attention. I'm like, why? What would this attorney, because she was actually an attorney at the time, be interested in some long-haired musician with tattoos up and down his arms, and working in a wood shop, have interest in me for? I mean, that makes no sense whatsoever. But one day I just decided, you know what, I'm going to ask this girl out. I've seen her around. She seems pretty cool. I ask her out and she's, yes, absolutely. and been with her since then. That's going on over 20 years now. That we've been married for 18 of those. We dated for a couple of years before that. But you will find the person that you want to be with, and they want to be with you. And that's all it takes. It's just a little bit of conversation. All of us are screwed up. We've got fucked up shit going on in our heads. We've got fucked up issues. My wife has issues. I have issues. It's nothing odd. It's nothing strange. If you end up hooking up with the right person that's, can tolerate those issues, and you can tolerate their issues, and you're just happy together. A lot of people are concerned with looks or any number of things. It's a work in progress. We're all a work in progress, and I will tell you, get out there. Don't do the online dating apps and crap like that. Just get out there and talk to people. I mean, whenever I was much more of a player in my younger days, because by the time that, I had this fiance dump me, I was pretty much just like, yeah, I really don't care anymore. But prior to that, being a touring musician, I would meet lots of very loose women that I would probably not want to be getting married to. And I can honestly say that a lot of the girls that were planning on being engaged, they were being footloose and fancy free. Let's put it that way. They were not very true to their love. And it's just chill. It is so chill. You work on yourself. Once you're happy with yourself, you're going to be happy with anybody that wants to be part of you. If they don't want to be part of you and you end up being alone for the rest of your life, that's not bad either. I mean, there were times whenever I would say being alone, whatever. I've got my cigarettes, got my alcohol. I don't really care. But I will tell you, being with somebody and being able to share time with them is so enjoyable. And I would definitely suggest just go out there, meet people. I mean, you'll be surprised. The person that you run into is going to be the one that you least expect. It will be fun, and it's just a wild ride. It really is.
So, and then when that would happen, we really needed that. So went for dinner, and then we would cook together and eat dinner, and then crawl in the bed and watch a movie.
Oh.
Are you talking about this is like recent? I don't. You kind of like lost me. Like when? What do you?
It was a little while.
Don't worry, sweet cheeks. We all got lost a while back whenever she was, talking about getting in bed, reading a book, watching a movie, and we would sleep together.
So, but now you're talking about tension building up and that you need space. So, have you been feeling that way lately, or?
No.
Okay.
No. Okay, my thing is too, so you all know. Oh, I hate that you can't talk to her, but Dee, his ex-wife, when I say a monster, she's a monster. Like she withholds their children from speaking to him.
And I know these kind of women, and they might be monsters, but this is no concern of hers.
So he gets upset about that, and then she like completely berates him about money, about the father that he is, what he did to her, all this other stuff. It doesn't matter.
I would have made a very horrible father. And I told my wife this. And she looked at me a little odd, and she said, I don't understand why. I think you would make a great father. You're wonderful with my nieces and nephews, and you're chill. You have patience. And I'm like, well, I think that I would make a very awful father because I have nothing to gauge it by. My father was not around enough. He was just not the greatest father. if you could compare fathers, I guess he wasn't the greatest, but whenever we started talking about having children, we actually tried multiple times. And she had, you know, I think it was second miscarriage, and I couldn't put her through that anymore. So we didn't have kids. And we were given an option to try again, and we both decided we didn't want to do that. I didn't want to put her through it, and she just wasn't up for that. So we didn't have kids. Do I regret not having kids? No. I mean, I could, I guess, but I like after we decided not to have children, because I told her I was concerned. I said, I don't know how a father is supposed to act. I don't know what a father is supposed to do. I don't know what a good father figure is, because I didn't have a good father figure. So this woman going off about, how a woman is, yeah, there might be a reason why this woman didn't want to be around him. Maybe she knew that he was a complete, dumpster of a person. If a dude can't keep himself out of jail, maybe you don't want to keep your kids around him.
I mean, mind you, this is not like been recent, but which is why he didn't even bother calling anymore, because he knows that she's going to answer and he's going to have to talk to her, so therefore he can't talk to his daughter.
Yeah, that's a horrible thing. That's some of the trash that my mother would play too. Just my father would show up 5 minutes late to pick us up for, visitation, and she would be, total biatch.
The other time he talked to her, made her talk to Cookie. That's on my cell phone too, so you can see it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
What does she have to do though with anything about what happened Sunday and into Monday?
No, I'm just saying, previously,
okay.
Why the incidents, what happened is she plays a big part in it.
Okay.
On top of jobs and money and groceries and all that.
Okay.
Sunday, when I tell you this, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Is there anybody else at the house?
No, it's just me and him.
Since talking yesterday, do you remember any timelines better? Like what time you guys were playing? What time he was zipped up in the luggage? What time you went upstairs?
Here's where they get into it. Oh, zipped up in the luggage.
We started because we cleaned the house a little bit, did some laundry.
Yeah, you sort of do that whenever you're doing those kinds of drugs. You just want to clean or do something. You've got to be busy. If not, you just get stir crazy.
You started the activities around 4, you said?
Yes.
So imagine being like ADD all the time. Like I've got like really weird attention span. That's I can go off on like little tangents, and I can. My older brother was like this, where he would just he had it much worse than I did, where he just had no concept. His attention would be completely shot. But they're self-inducing this crap on themselves. It's making it even worse.
Around 4:30ish, and then
you just
4:30ish. Is this in the morning?
You said that it was dark when you were playing hide and seek, and I'm just curious if you remember.
But when we were outside, that's where we would start.
So they're playing hide and seek at 4:30 in the morning. That's wonky.
And talk about things, and then eventually I was the one that had him come inside. So we.
About what time? Do you remember what time that was? Is what she's asking.
And you said you went up to bed around midnight, fell asleep around 12:30ish. But those are the only times I have. So I have 4 and I have midnight. So there's a big gap. So I'm just curious, if you recall when you went upstairs to hide in the shower, or
when we started to play hide and seek.
Yeah.
Well, we went inside probably about.
I think their hide and seek might have been a little bit of a sex game.
If I had to guess, we weren't out there too long. Maybe about 6-ish.
Okay, so she's not talking about 4:30 in the morning. She's talking about 4:30 at night, and they were out there playing hide and seek till about 6-ish. So they're moving on till midnight.
Then,
You talking about from hanging out outside and like,
okay. Well, we have 2 beach chairs that are out there and
Right.
just enjoy the weather.
Gotcha.
Plus it's starting to get dark and gnats and mosquitoes.
Yeah.
So let's go inside. I don't want to be out here anymore.
Okay.
All right, let's go. So we're doing whatever. We did it for a while because that puzzle, I don't know if they took it or they saw it. Worked on the puzzle again, finished it. Started to paint. Well, started listening to music for a little bit. Started to paint. Can we turn the music off? No problem. Start at the top, paint, whatever. Maybe, gosh, that puzzle, we worked on that for probably a good hour and a half. So 8 o'clock-ish?
We want to talk about some cool puzzles. So for Christmas, my wife and I got this puzzle. We do puzzles, like actual jigsaw puzzles. This is one of our favorite things to do, especially whenever we had a really big snowstorm here in Georgia, which tends to lock everything down. So we're locked up in the house, and we had these like 1,500 piece puzzles. And we clear off the tables, and we would start working on the puzzles. And it was a competition to see who could actually finish puzzles faster than the other. I'm really good at them. But this puzzle that we got for Christmas is a specific picture, but there's no edges on any of it, so you don't have the little corners that you can work out. Each puzzle is cut identically. So you could take every single piece and fit them into one another. All pieces are identically cut. So you have these rough edges around it, and you have to put all of it together. My wife, it took her 7 hours to complete. So my turn will be next week, and I'm putting together this puzzle, and it's probably about 500 piece puzzle, but it becomes so difficult because every single piece you could fit into every single piece. So we're going to try this one out. I won't stream that because this will be also be one of those nighttime kind of things, and I don't have a whole lot of room on my particular desk because I have a keyboard here. But it's going to be cool. It's going to be a cool puzzle. Whenever I'm done, I'll take a picture of it and post it up. Love doing the puzzles.
Is when you went to hide upstairs originally?
No, that's when we were like painting. So then it's like, okay, well, I don't want to paint anymore. Let's just, come on. Okay, you want to play hide and seek? What he does is, okay, tag, you're it. Which it's like, okay, we know. Okay, take off.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we did.
And then you went upstairs, and then he didn't come up, and you came down, and the suitcase was there originally because you guys were planning to do donations, so it was already there.
Oh, okay. So he was playing hide and seek, and he decided to hide in a piece of luggage.
Have you guys ever played you said you played hide and seek like probably 3 times in your relationship. Mm-hmm. When you have played, have you ever zipped him up in a suitcase prior?
No.
Okay. So it was just kind of like that prop was there, and it was there, yes, and it was in play because.
Why do you say it like that, though?
I would never do that.
You would never zip them up in a suitcase?
Well,
I mean, we were playing.
No, I know,
but
I'm saying, I'm talking about hide and seek, which is a game, so.
The suitcase originally is in our closet, buried all the way to the back. I know the CSI people saw our closet. Our closet needs to be cleaned out really bad. My son's clothes need to be cleaned out really bad because
Son's clothes need to be cleaned out really bad because, well, she is not the tidiest housekeeper.
Don't fit him anymore, and I'm tired of looking at him. So he took it upon himself, including that suitcase, to take it downstairs so we can get all of our clothes, our donations, and everything, and just leave the whole thing by the.
This had to be a not very big person to climb inside of a suitcase. I am, like I said, 6 foot, give or take. More give than take. 6 foot. Until I get older, and then I'll probably start shrinking. Happens. It's horrible. I cannot fit myself or even imagine contorting myself into the largest suitcase that we have. It just does not sound good.
Clothing and shoe thing at my son's school.
No, I'm just asking in the past, like, have you ever zipped him up in anything, jokingly or not, but obviously,
No.
I understand, you know, you're claiming that Sunday it was a joking matter. You were laughing, he was laughing. But what I'm just asking is in the past, like, is it something that you
Absolutely
guys normally do?
Absolutely not.
They're not into that kink. Yeah, she should have had a lawyer. Yes, he should have told her to shut up a long time ago. I completely agree with this right here. She most definitely should have had a lawyer. She should have shut up a long time ago, especially as soon as you got somebody reading your rights, say, no, I'm done. Yep. And yep.
We were actually this last game running out of places to hide because we have a townhome where it's upstairs or downstairs. So
So what you do is you go on hide in your neighbor's house.
So, do you remember making any videos or maybe having any any photos, videos that you remember doing on your phone on Sunday?
Oh, and this is where it comes out. You're 5'9", doubt you'd fit. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, my wife is 5'4". Yeah, 5'4". She would not. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't really try to put her in there. I don't think it would be too comfortable.
well,
No.
Of course, I don't do math, so I don't think of, trying to contort myself to be into a suitcase.
I think I took a picture of a dog.
Okay. But your phone is password protected. You have the password. He has the facial recognition, so it's not like someone else could be on your phone.
No, I have both.
But you have the face and the password.
Yes.
Yeah, but he only has the face, correct?
No.
To be able to get onto your phone, you told me that he looks at the phone.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought you were asking me if I did. Yes, it's me.
Okay. Does he have access to your phone? Because you said it's
Yeah.
your phone. Okay. How does he have access?
Sarah, can I borrow your phone? Yeah, it's right there on the kitchen counter.
Okay, but how does he get into it? Because it's password protected.
He'll come and get it to me and I'll just do the face thing. Where sometimes too, like he'll joke with me and say, okay, I need to borrow your phone. And he'll hold it while I'm cooking or doing something, do the facial recognition.
Oh, I do that to my wife too. I hold up the phone to her face so I can access her phone because there would be something on there that she's wanting me to look up for or some crap like that. So I'll just grab her phone, hold it up to her face. And of course she'll go, smile, whatever.
Okay, so he doesn't know the password and he doesn't have the facial recognition.
No,
But he is the only other person that would use your phone, I'm
Yes.
assuming, other
well,
than,
Lucas.
right. But Lucas wasn't there Sunday, and, right. So, to your recollection, no videos on Sunday?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I maybe took a picture of
God, with the coughing, get that checked out.
them, the two of Tess and
The dogs.
George and them dancing, but I mean, it's just Tess.
Mhm. Okay. So I have something that I want to show you that we found. And it was from your phone.
Here's where it comes out. We got
Yeah.
this from your phone there, Chicky baby.
Move it around, go ahead.
Do you want to see this?
No, I don't remember that.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me.
Your battery's about to die.
Shut it down.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and this is a fail. She failed because she didn't have power on it. Yeah, we found this on your phone. That's just like saying, babe, I took my Viagra 3 hours ago. I am as hard as a rock right now. She says, oh, it's wonderful. That's like that'll last you for another couple hours. You want to go watch a movie? And then we can get down afterwards. Yeah, disappointing.
The battery doesn't last very long.
It
Yes.
lasts a lot longer than that. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
That
Let me just-
that phone footage, oh my God. Where she is just laughing hysterically, which I understand. If somebody locks himself into a suitcase, you laugh your ass off because that's pretty goddamn funny. I mean, I would be laughing hysterically if I came into a room after just jerking around, whatever. And my wife is locked up in a suitcase. I would laugh my ass off. And I will tell you, if at the moment that she's just like, okay, get me out of here. I can't get out. Help me out. My ass is jumping over there, unzipping that son of a bitch and letting her out. This woman did not do that. She just was like, yeah, okay, you're an asshole and this sort of serves you right. You're hating it. Well, piss off. That dude, that shit is so disturbing. Just seeing the way that she responded to that, man, I'm sitting there going, oh my God, let's just dude out. Let's just dude out. I don't care what kind of shithead he is. No, that's just, you just don't do that. Just don't. No.
No, I was just simply asking because you had a look on your face when she asked you if you've ever done that before. You looked kind of shocked. And
No,
why did you say it like that? Like,
I don't think you all understand who I am, where,
well, tell me.
I mean, I've always been a straight A student. I am an outstanding mother to my
crazy.
son. I excel at everything.
Oh, at everything. She is an accelerator.
I would not do that.
You wouldn't zip somebody in a suitcase?
Now, I might zip someone in a suitcase. I've been known to like pull practical jokes. Well, let's put it this way. At the shop I worked at, what we did is we took one of the guys' toolboxes and we rolled it into the stall, like the toilet stall. It was just one of his like roll carts, and we rolled it into the stall, the handicap stall, and then crawled up inside and locked it up so he couldn't open the door. And he comes out and he was on lunch break. He comes back from lunch break and he's like, where'd my roll cart go? And everybody's like, your roll cart? What roll cart? I hadn't seen your roll cart. It took him about an hour to figure out where the roll cart was. And once he figured out it was locked in the bathroom, he had to sort of crawl up underneath the stall to unlock it to get his roll cart out. Yeah, us mechanics were pretty shitty like that whenever we do like practical jokes. Yeah. Yeah, you should see the picture of dude crawling up underneath it. He wasn't a tiny guy, so him crawling up underneath that stall, we got pictures of that. Yeah, we're assholes. But you also have to understand we're the kind of people that will take and do like ultimate jokes where we had one guy that got washer fluid and he actually took all the washer line and ran it all the way across to another bay about 6 bays down. And he hooked up a little electric motor, one of the pressure motors that you would use for washer fluid, and hooked that up and had it hooked up to a washer bottle. And it was sitting in a spot where you couldn't see it. And as dude was working on his car, he hit the button and it would fire washer fluid across and spray this guy while he's working on a car. Yeah, it took probably about an hour for this guy to figure out where that was coming from. Yeah, we're bad. We're mean practical jokers. We had one guy that was probably about 350 pounds crawl up in one of the big Snap-on boxes and take nude pictures of himself. He was completely covered, but he was clearly nude. Taking nude pictures of himself, and we actually put him on as a screensaver on the shop foreman's computer. Yes, we're talking about a very large man, but that's only half of the story because that very large man, as he's posing nude inside of his Snap-on box, there was a customer that showed up to look at their car, so they closed the face of the Snap-on box and sort of locked him in there for probably about an hour while he was butt-ass naked. Yeah, mechanics were assholes. We do some of the most fucked up stuff.
Well, I didn't completely lock it. I mean, I opened it with one finger. I left enough in there for him to get out.
Okay.
She opened it with one finger. Hmm.
And I wasn't planning on going upstairs and going to sleep.
That's not what happened. She took her ass upstairs and she said, "Nighty night, motherfucker. Have fun. Don't care."
No, it's just the way you said it.
You guys
You're
are
like,
scaring me.
why?
Oh, Chicky baby. You should be scared about that time that you got called back in there for a second interview and they said, "You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be held against you. If you give up that right to remain silent, well, you're sort of fucked." That's about the time that you should have been scared.
We just want you to watch this. It came from your phone. Don't you want to know what's on it?
Yes, please.
Damn woman. This woman has such a cough. I swear to God, if she keeps coughing like this, she's just going to like cough out a lung and she's going to have to stuff that thing back inside of her gullet.
Is it long? Because I don't know how much I can take.
Is it long? She don't know how much she can take. Well, it seems like you've been taking quite a bit there.
Mm-mm.
No.
I don't know how much I can take. Do I have to watch this?
No, you don't have to watch it, but we're going to play it anyway. Because you just said you were interested.
I continuously throw up. I don't sleep. I don't want to see it. That's okay.
Okay. Honey, you're going to watch this. You're going to hate it. It's going to be horrible. All right, brother. You have a good one. Hey, anytime. I understand. Hey, it's absolutely cool. I understand. You don't have to hang out. I appreciate you hanging out as long as you did. I may cut this short anyway tonight. And continue to part 2 because I'm a sick person that's going to probably watch this whole thing, but I will continue this on because it is interesting that she left this guy in a suitcase to die. It's horrible. And you have a wonderful night also. Peace to you. And come back again real soon because I'm sure there will be more of this. I see that it's getting probably, for me, it's about 10:30. And I'll probably run this until about 11, somewhere around 11 o'clock. So you can always catch up with the rest of it later. It's absolutely cool. Just hit the like on the way out and say, give a little thumbs up. Always does good for the wonderful people there at YouTube. Appreciate and rest well, because tomorrow is another day and it's going to be a beautiful day here in Georgia. It's starting to get a little bit pissy out, but hey, peace momento maro. Peace.
Well, it's on your phone, and you can either explain it or we take it for what it is.
Yeah, we're just trying to give you the opportunity to tell us what's going on. That's it.
It's that long?
2 minutes.
No.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me. Fuck you.
And
Fuck
that's,
you.
that's you, your voice.
Stupid. That's my name. Don't wear it up.
That's harsh.
Yeah, that's when you do and you choke me.
Same. I do hope that I get some more subscribers, but I'm doing this because I'm having fun. I hope more subscribers come in. And also, if you get a chance, Memento, check out Dance Biker Dance. He has some really cool stuff. And same way with Valhalla Awaits and Mighty Meat. They do a stream also, probably about the same time that I do mine. It's all good. Those guys are actually really fun to watch and really interesting. Enjoy those folks also. You also have Flux out there, and she does some really cool stuff. You have Legal Bites, or not Legal Bites, but Legal Vices, which is where, you know, you can have some wonderful Mondays with Legal Vices. You got Nick Ricada. You've got Steve Gosney. You've got all these folks out there that do just wonderful content. And all of these people are an inspiration. And if you don't know who they are, well, ask. I will introduce you to all of them. They're wonderful people, and they all got good stuff. But I appreciate you hanging out as long as you did, and you have a wonderful night, and have a good the rest of your weekend. And Monday morning is just another day pushing towards the weekend. Peace, brother.
I don't want to watch it, please.
Last time we talked to you, you had said that you put him in the suitcase, he had two fingers hanging out. and you
I
went to
flipped him
bed.
over. I flipped him over, and that's where it was.
And there's two different videos and a still picture where, yeah, it shows you flipping him in different positions, him saying that he can't breathe, and you saying fuck
So
you.
this is upside down. So in order for him to have gotten into it,
It was flipped up.
right, it was flipped up normal,
Yes.
like as if you're packing something. So this is upside down.
Guys, this is killing me right now.
So this image is upside down,
Not as much as it's killing him.
and then this small video that occurred 11 minutes later, it's flipped over the other way, closer to your dining room table.
Okay.
Now he's obviously still in there. So he didn't. How did it go from the back to the front?
I flipped it.
Okay.
My plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep.
Well,
Yeah, but a few bottles of wine and she might have.
that's what you did.
Yeah,
But not intentional though.
No, you told me you went upstairs because
But
you were
Stop
getting
here.
ready for bed.
stopped here.
Okay, but
where's here?
show me where you can see any fingers coming out, because there's the end.
It's, and his head's right here.
Mm-hmm.
So going like this, rather than going all the way up, it's like this.
But why is he saying I can't breathe, and why is he pushing on it as if he can't get out?
And it doesn't show a hole.
There's no
Okay.
hole. There's no fingers. I don't see his fingers. There's no hole.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I don't know, like, what you want me to tell you.
I'm just showing you. I'm just telling you what we see and what we've heard from the
I
other video.
understand. I understand.
He's begging for you to let him out. You're laughing in the beginning, and then in the end, it sounds kind of like a.
No, it's not malicious.
Well, saying fuck you,
It's not malicious.
then what is that?
What does fuck you mean to you?
Well,
Like if I were to tell my
oh, like he
partner-
does. Like, I get told everything but a white woman, so
Okay.
my intention was not to leave him in there. Please understand that. My intention was not to leave him in there.
But you went upstairs thinking that he could get himself
Yes.
out, but the video shows
That's
at
what I
no
told
point
you.
can I see his fingers.
He'll be out there any
looks like-
minute.
And then 30 minutes later, he didn't show.
And he's telling you,
And I
he
didn't
can't
wake
breathe.
up.
Do you think
Not
he's
able to
joking?
tell.
You told me he was laughing, and
We were
the
before.
video, there's no
We first got in
laughing.
there, both of us
So
were.
how long was he in there for? Like, this video is at 11:12 when it starts, so was he in there for like a long time prior to you
No,
recording this?
no.
Oh,
So it goes from funny to no longer funny,
But
but
I
you're the
didn't-
only one laughing.
But I didn't think that he was, like, panicky. Like,
So pushing up on a suitcase saying, Sarah, 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 I can't breathe.
George has done that in the past before too, where it's just like, he thinks that he's, woe is me kind of thing, where it's like, I
Well,
don't,
he's never been locked in a suitcase, that's
No.
why he couldn't get out, so.
it's kind of, I thought it was
And
a
you have
boy
oxygen.
crying wolf kind of thing.
Okay.
And again, my plan,
But nowhere in there
Ooh.
is he laughing, is he joking, he is begging. And you're the only one laughing,
okay,
and you're the only one saying derogatory comments, like you're mad.
no, please don't, I don't mean to sound negative, and I don't know if I can say this, but like, it's like you guys are kind of trying to like feed me. Like,
No, I'm just trying to show you a video that you no longer want to watch because you probably don't want to know the outcome of how and what you said.
well, I know
yeah. This is rough.
what,
You know what's on that video now?
No.
You remember making that video?
No.
Why don't you remember making the video?
probably because we had been drinking.
Yeah, but she said she had no problem with her alcohol.
But you weren't drunk.
Just because I went upstairs and, just
You
because
told
you're
us-
drunk doesn't
you
mean
told us
that
those
you,
times that you were not drunk. You said that you had your wits about you. You said he had his wits about you.
Mhm.
You said that you don't like not having your wits. In my experience, if somebody cannot remember doing something to the extent of making 2 videos and a video and taking a photo, they are intoxicated.
Okay, I understand where y'all are coming from.
Well,
Oh, Sarah.
we're trying to make sense of it. We're trying to figure out
We're
what
trying to
you're
figure
saying.
out this
You
video.
explain it to us. We're listening.
I just did, like, we were playing, and then, like, I thought it was, my plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep. My plan was not to, he'll be up here any minute.
But you
Yeah.
willingly went upstairs and went to sleep. No one
Oof.
forced you to go upstairs and get
My
ready
plan
for
wasn't
bed.
also to leave him in the suitcase,
So why didn't you take him out?
because I went upstairs, and then I fell asleep.
But why didn't you consciously think he's asking to come out? He
I
can't
didn't do it
breathe.
intentionally.
What do you think is going to happen if you leave somebody in a confined space like that?
Well, I thought by not giving it up all the way, it would be okay. My plan was not to leave him in the
And what was your
suitcase,
plan?
waiting for him to come upstairs.
And then when he did it,
Fell asleep.
You said you were up there 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, somebody not coming up.
knowing that that the last time you saw him was in the suitcase, 30 minutes later, you're like, maybe I should go check on him. Maybe I shouldn't.
No.
Well, that didn't cross your mind because
That's
it
like,
didn't happen.
that's like an assumption.
Oh.
Like, that's what you all are thinking. Just,
We're asking.
it's the
You tell
whole,
us.
it's the drinking.
It's
That's
the
what it is.
drinking. It's alcohol. It's not my fault.
I thought it was like, I thought he was okay. Like, I didn't, that,
He's
you all,
telling you he's not. He's telling you, Sarah, I can't breathe. He's saying your name, and you're like, that's my name. Don't wear it out.
guys, that's how we are with each other. Like, he is, nobody understands our relationship. This,
All right. If my wife ever hears me say, I can't breathe, let me out, and she doesn't, man, there's some hell to pay. But of course, I'm not going to be crawling in a suitcase like some dumbass.
this whole suitcase thing never happened before.
Would you leave someone else in a suitcase? Would you leave Lucas in a suitcase jokingly? Because it was a
No.
joking matter. You put him in there jokingly. Would you leave Lucas jokingly in there? And you love Lucas, right? And you
I
love
wouldn't do that
George.
to him either. I wouldn't do that to him.
So I just,
Well, it's not like,
So
again,
we're
I don't
having a
think you
hard
all
time
understand.
understanding why
Like,
you did this to him.
I mean,
it's not my, that was not my intention.
Well,
Y'all don't have any idea what
by
I've
your
done for
acts,
him.
But by your acts, and that's exactly right. You get to the point where you've done so much for somebody and they don't show
No.
you any appreciation.
He did.
Not by your words in the video. I don't get that.
He did.
Because you bring up the fact that when he's choking you, you can't breathe. That's how you felt when he cheated on you. You couldn't breathe. And
Oh.
you verbally several times,
Ouch.
said, fuck you.
well, you said it in the video, but you won't
video.
let us play the rest of it. 'Cause you don't
And
want
When
to.
I say cheating, it's on his phone.
Okay. Cheating's cheating.
I
And
think
if
so
you-
too.
Exactly.
It's your definition of cheating, though. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's what the word cheat means.
And that's what you told him in the video. That
Oof.
I couldn't breathe when you cheated on me.
No,
That's how I felt when he said, Sarah, I can't breathe. And you told
I
him,
don't know
fuck
what
you.
you, this is,
What would you say if somebody told you that they had done this?
done one.
You set somebody in a suitcase and went up and went to bed.
Do you all not think, so you all think that it's like, oh, good, I got him in there, now I'm gonna go to sleep? Is that what you guys are trying to assume? Or trying to, like,
We're just, the video is very portraying of the opposite of what you told us.
no?
It is not leading up, it is not matching what statement you gave us in the car.
So,
And that's why we want to know,
and I don't remember
injuries.
doing those.
the injuries are not consistent with what you told us. So we have a lot of inconsistencies, and this video explains itself. It really truly does.
You don't think that I had thought about that?
Thought about the video or thought about,
But no, again, if you don't mind, please. So you all are assuming that it's like, oh, good, I got him in there, now I'm gonna go to sleep? Is that what you all are assuming?
well, it's not an assumption when that's
Well,
what you
they're
told us
not
what happened.
assuming that's what
And the
happened.
video,
No.
I mean,
Oh,
I'm not gonna say,
you thought he could
Those
get out
are-
on his
yes.
off.
she
video shows
needs
that
to
he cannot get out
have
on
an
his own.
attorney.
but when I unzipped it with one finger,
From the outside.
but it had the hole in it.
And you're claiming that it had a paperclip, so that's what assisted you in doing it.
No.
Is what you told us.
When I had my sweatshirt, I said I thought it had a paperclip on it. It's
But
got,
the zipper part is broken, that,
yeah, which is
you
why we were
broke
gonna
it.
zip it.
Yeah.
I just,
You were able to unzip it from the outside very easily, because that's the way they're designed.
but you could on the inside too. I don't know
so
how,
why wouldn't he have gotten himself out if he could? He was
I don't
asking-
know, like, I
he
don't know
was
if you saw,
asking.
like, where the hole was. I don't
I
know.
didn't see a hole.
No
I
one
didn't
sees
see
the
no
hole.
fingers
You're the
sticking
only
out.
one that's what I'm saying. Like, he's in one position, and where his head would be, we should be able to see fingers. And then when it's flipped over onto this right side, again, his head is closer to us facing the video, so we should be able to see fingers, and we don't see anything. We see no movement of him trying to unzip it or physically unzipping it. All we see is pushing up,
Oh,
trying to push out of
oh,
it.
oh.
Please do not assume.
I'm
My-
not assuming.
my
I haven't
intention-
assumed anything. I
You're
follow
assuming.
evidence.
But my intention was not, again, oh, good, I got him in there, now I'm just gonna go to sleep.
What do you think someone that knows nothing about this, or hears just a little bit, like, oh, they were playing around in a
She's
suitcase,
been
and then
drinking,
and then watching that
probably went to
video?
sleep. That's what happened.
But you let him out before. I mean, you put him in, so why didn't you take him out?
Because I was upstairs and I fell asleep.
No, before you went upstairs. You like consciously had to walk upstairs. You obviously remember going to bed because you were giving me a time frame on that, and you specifically told me that.
Oh,
You
I
went
don't-
upstairs.
My intention was not for this to happen.
she needs to have an attorney. You dumb woman. Get an attorney.
I am sick about it. I've never done anything like this before in the past. I'm sick. Especially with that. I thought I couldn't sleep last night. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. You tell us last night, you vividly remember this when you told us last night, that he was laughing, you were laughing, you put him in the suitcase, he has two fingers sticking out, and you go to bed. Now we see something totally different. And it actually shows you upset and, again, using derogatory terms to him when he's begging for his life to get out of that suitcase.
So but my thing
you
is
say
that
we're
it's-
assuming, we're not assuming.
But the
We're telling you
fingers,
what's on there.
so it just happened to be that whenever I was videotaping or doing whatever else it was, just happened to not have that in it.
Okay. And you also in the video, you can't see any holes. There's nowhere in that where the zipper separates and you can see a hole. If there's a hole, he's pushing on it, begging you to get out. We should probably see that hole. that
He
you're
essentially
talking
would have
about.
been able to get out.
Oh.
Based on what you're telling us, he should have been able to get out. But the video shows him attempting to get out, begging to get out, and he can't. So that's just what we're trying to figure out. I don't know if maybe you had too much to drink, you zipped it up all the way, and then,
I did not zip it up all the way. Okay, well, I did not zip it up all the way. This is horrific, okay? Horrific.
it is
Of
terrible.
course.
Horrific.
That's
I don't think I'll
that's why
ever
they're
be right
showing it
because
to
of this.
you.
Ever be right. Dealing with everything else that I have in my life, personally, and then this,
Okay.
whom I loved,
Uh-huh.
it was not intentional. I will put my hand on the Bible. It was not intentional. I would not do that to him nor anyone else.
But you
You
did.
did.
Not intentional.
You intentionally went up to bed.
I didn't intentionally go to bed because I'm thinking, okay,
Hold
good,
on,
he can
hold
get
on.
out.
How did you not intentionally go to bed? You said you went upstairs and got into bed. That's
No.
intentionally going to bed.
Waiting for him. He
No.
doesn't come, but you don't go down to check on him.
So I happened to go to sleep. When I say go to sleep,
And what do you
So,
normally do when you
what
go
are
to
you
bed?
gonna do?
What do you normally do when you go to bed?
what do you mean?
What is the bed for? Going to sleep.
Right.
So you go to
But
bed, you
obviously
do
you can
what?
tell too that, like, I'm
You go to bed,
also.
you do what? Okay. You kept telling us, hey, I wasn't intoxicated. I wasn't this, I wasn't that.
Being drunk and intoxicated, which, yes, you can tell that I've been drinking, but
Okay. So if you weren't intoxicated, then why would you ever leave somebody in a suitcase that's begging to get out, that's telling you they can't breathe?
if I hadn't been drinking, you still think it would be the same thing? Where it's like, hop in, I'm gonna go to sleep. Is that what you all are trying to do, to
I'm
portray
not
me
trying
as?
to do anything. I'm simply asking you to explain to me what happened.
Everything was fine and dandy.
I don't want to call
Everything.
it fine and dandy.
Well,
fine,
apparently not.
You all don't, okay.
He's
for-
dead.
For me to tell you this, again, mind you, I've been without him for a day now.
Mhm.
I don't know, I mean, I don't know what you all want me to tell you, because this was not in any way, shape, or form, hand on the Bible, intentional.
Oh, they don't want you to tell them anything. That's the thing. They are happy you telling them whatever you want to tell them, because everything you say can and will be used against you.
Okay. So you just
I
left them there
didn't
to
kill
teach
him.
You left them there to teach them a
I know
lesson?
you.
You may have not killed him, but you didn't avoid the death happening.
I didn't mean to leave him there. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You got up and walked away. How is that not intentionally leaving him there?
Because I'm looking at the hole, knowing that it's there. He'll get out no home. Because you
Then
don't,
he doesn't,
but
but you don't go check on him. You say you're up for 30 minutes and he doesn't come up. You don't go down and check on him?
I'm in the bed.
You even moved.
And don't
I mean,
stop.
you
I'm in the bed. That motherfucker needs to just get his ass up here. Get your ass out of that old suitcase on your own. Damn.
you admit to moving the suitcase like over,
Roll
so
it.
you roll it out. Like it's not like
I didn't want it to be like that.
She might have just pushed it down the stairs a couple of times.
you didn't want him to be upside down. How do you even get upside down?
You guys are killing me right now.
No, you killed him. Or just let it happen.
Just want you to
Probably
hear.
shut the fuck up.
That's how he talks to me most of the time. I don't know how you want me to say it.
I'm just trying to figure out what you would expect to happen to somebody when you leave them in a suitcase.
I didn't mean to leave him in there.
But you did.
What's your reasoning for not calling 911 sooner?
Because I didn't know what to do and how horrific it was. I called Ryan, and like, what, 5 minutes later I called you guys? Not even 5 minutes. Nonetheless, I had to like I was trying to do CPR. I had to get him out and try to do CPR and then called you guys. And then was continually doing CPR with the dispatch on the phone, where he had me count out loud to help me focus on what I was doing.
But it was all too late by that time.
It just, I don't know how. I mean, you can sit here all day long and say I thought he was going to get himself out, but that he didn't, and you went upstairs, and you stayed there for 30 minutes before you fell asleep.
But can I say too,
You
like,
chose not to ever at any point during that 30 minutes walk back down and check on him.
no, wait 1 second, because I know, like, with you all, and then, like, because you continually ask me, like, time frames, where I told you, like, I don't bother even looking at the clock most of the time. So it's like a guesstimate. So for all I know, maybe it was 10 minutes.
But the point is, you left the living room where he was begging for help and went upstairs.
But
Regardless
again,
of how long you were there, you left. You say,
I thought he was the boy calling wolf. Again,
Okay.
So when he asked to be let out, like, what's your reasoning for not letting him out?
See, this is just way too defensive. Way too defensive.
I was upstairs.
No, when he's asking on the video, he asked multiple times. He asked to be let out. I can't breathe. What? Like, why didn't you let him out?
Well, number one,
Well, number one, because I really don't care about this shithead.
I had no idea it was going to end like that.
Okay.
Number one.
Well, I can sort of relate where she just did something really stupid. We've all done stupid shit in our lives. But she took it a little step further.
Number two, just, you know what? I'll give you 5 minutes or so in there. I'll give you 5 minutes or so.
5 minutes for what?
Well, based on the video, one video's at 11:12 and the next one's 11:23. So you actually gave him at least 11 minutes per video recording. So my thing is, when it stopped, he asked multiple times. I mean, why? Why did you not let him out? It's just a simple question.
To be honest,
Because Chicken Baby really does not like this guy too much. He is a shithead of the nth degree. And although he might have been, warming her bed at night, apparently she still wasn't pleased because he might have been warming other beds other nights.
with you, I mean,
Were you punishing him?
no, just,
Well, that's what you're saying in the video.
This is what you got. This is what you make me feel like.
see, and then it's all backfired on me. Like, it's all backfired on me. And I understand
As it should.
the severity of this.
You did it.
It's awful, I know.
Okay.
It's awful. And I will tell you both this right now, too. I will never drink alcohol again.
Okay.
Like, I will.
Well, yeah, you're probably not going to get much of a chance to drink any sort of alcohol where you're going. I mean, it might be like toilet alcohol, but you ain't drinking any more alcohol again. Well, yeah, that's going to happen.
Never drink alcohol again. I don't care what it is in any way, shape, or form.
But let's get back to this. What was,
Now, it makes me wonder, she's got this good thing going on. She's got a son. If she's that inebriated, what kind of life does this boy have? If she is this far gone, and, cheers to you if you're hanging out there, because we are drinking alcohol. We're not stuffing people in suitcases because we are not that kind of sick kind of person there. We're not going to do that kind of thing. But the fact that she is doing that, she's saying, I'm not going to drink any alcohol ever again. I imagine not. She's going to be locked away in a nice, quiet little hole, and she is going to be hating life.
the reason for leaving him when he's begging to be let out? I don't understand that.
What I have a feeling was, and again, it's the whole time frame thing. I'm
I'm not asking a time frame. I don't care about a time frame.
So-
He's in the bag saying, I can't
and
sleep.
my
And you
God,
say, fuck you.
when he, for the whole few minutes that he was in there,
Minimum 11.
The few minutes that he was in there long enough to run out of air and die.
But yes, go ahead. With you. 11.
but
For one video.
Well, in between the two videos.
Between the
11
videos?
minutes.
Okay.
so what's the question again?
When he's begging for his life, telling you he can't breathe, let me out, and you say, fuck you, why don't you just let him out? What are you trying
I
to
don't-
fix to him? There's obviously something in
At this point, ask for an attorney. At this point, just ask. Just ask. You can make this stop right now. Just ask for an attorney.
your head that you were thinking of when he was asking to be let out, and you're like,
Again,
no,
it's the
no.
boy calling wolf.
Okay, but where's this game end? Did you say this is a game? You got somebody in
Obviously,
there.
the wrong way.
So what was your intention for leaving him in there?
And it's not fair. It is not fair. You guys are trying to, again, he's in there. Night, night.
That's what happened.
Yes,
That's absolutely what happened.
that's absolutely what
How's it not?
happened.
You got up off the couch, walked up the flight of stairs, and got in your bed.
Thinking he was going to get out.
And he didn't, and you still didn't go down and
And
check
it's
on
the whole 30-minute thing that you guys are trying
I
to
don't
do,
care about
whatever.
30
Like, for all I know,
He's
it's like 10
begging for his
minutes.
life. He's begging for his life, telling him he can't breathe.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I don't. I didn't intentionally mean.
Don't say anything. Get yourself an attorney at this point in time. She is just burning herself. Just ask for an attorney. Stop.
For this to happen.
But you
And what
can't
did you
tell us
intend?
why you left him in there and went upstairs. That's my only issue. Like, what am I supposed to write? What do I write?
So my thing is, so it's, what I have a feeling is I went upstairs and just hit the bed, kind of thing. But again, I'm thinking, he'll be up here in a minute. But then I go out.
But my question is, why didn't you just let him out prior to going up?
I don't know why.
Because she's a woman scorned. At any point in time, then this happens with anybody that does any sort of criminal act. At any point in time, you could have stopped. And there's a certain point where you go, this has gone too far. I don't need to continue on with this. At any point in time, you can stop doing something bad, doing something wrong. It is difficult for some people to judge when that point is. Like, I've been in arguments with my lovely wife, whom I love with all my heart, and not a violent fight or just, arguing. And there comes a point where it's like, this is going too far. Either she's saying something absolutely asinine or ridiculous, or I'm saying something that's asinine and ridiculous. And at that point, one of us walks away. At no point in time do we come at each other and throw blows. Ever. It just doesn't happen. But at some point, the argument, we both go, yeah, this is productive. This is not a productive argument. Where we both think that we're in the right. We're both angry. And I will walk away, or she'll walk away. Either way, both part ways at that particular moment. And take a breather. And this is for me personally. Take a breather and go, I see where I could have worded that a little bit better. I shouldn't have said what I said. Okay. That's where I go, yeah, that was a mean thing to say, or that was inappropriate, any number of things. But giving ourselves that little bit of space. And I mean, we've argued whenever we were completely stone cold sober, and also whenever we have been drinking. The argument usually is about the same, blah, 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 whatever. And that argument ends, and we walk away from each other. That's as far as the argument goes. At some point, I may come back and say, what I said about X, Y, or Z, that was inappropriate. I'm sorry. Or she'll say, yeah, I shouldn't have said that. That was not cool. We kiss, make up. Arguments are going to happen in any relationship. But she took it a step too far. And I'm telling you right now, if you get into this position where there's some sort of death on your hands, shut up. Just shut up, woman.
He's begging to be let out. He's not laughing. He's not having fun.
Guys,
You said
I know.
this was supposed to be fun. You were laughing before. Before you said he was laughing, you were laughing. You went upstairs. He had his fingers out of the bag and he was playing. Well, obviously that's not the case.
So are you guys, so what is it you're trying to, like,
We're just trying to figure out why.
Don't figure anything out. Get an attorney.
why? What
What was the motivation for leaving him in the back?
why he was left in the back? Why the
I
video?
didn't have any motivation. It was me, he and I having a great day, fooling around and being stupid, and apparently me going upstairs and hitting the bed, not going to sleep, where it's like, I'm tired now, I'm gonna go to sleep.
That's excluding, you know, it's a good analogy for the day, excluding the fact that he's got a bump on the back of his head, a bump on the front of his head, and his lip is busted, and he has a
Oh my
bump on his eye. I mean,
I don't know what you all want me to tell you. Like, this is not
Don't.
fair at all.
Be quiet.
That you all are assuming that that's
Shut
from
up,
me.
woman.
where else did it come
If
from?
you were, say it's opposite, you were in the suitcase and you're asking to be
You're
let out.
burying
hope that
yourself
person would let you out? Like,
into the
You're asking to be let out of a
hole.
suitcase, should they not let you out?
Eventually, I'm guessing. I mean, I'm blaming it on the wine.
Blaming on the wine.
So you guys are like assuming that.
You keep saying we're assuming, well, we're not,
She's blaming it on the line.
we haven't
Asking
assumed anything.
questions.
But you guys are assuming that that's what I did.
By what,
Like, this is-
the fact of what happened, we got there, you said you pulled him out of a suitcase, you said you went up, you went to bed. We're not assuming that. These are the facts that you're telling us.
But
Now
what
we're
you said
asking
is like,
you to
oh, I'm
explain it.
tired. Oh, I'm tired.
Well, that's what you told me on a sworn recorded statement yesterday, because when I said, oh, you went upstairs and passed out, you were like, no, I did not pass out. You got attitude with me because you were assuming, you
Yep.
thought I was assuming that you were drunk. So that's an assumption. That was an assumption when I said you passed out. And guess what? You corrected me.
You were very adamant about the fact that both of you had your wits about you. What's your favorite word to use?
Compass mentis.
You've used it today too, to say that you guys are within your wits. There's two empty bottles of wine.
No, but we can drink both of them.
Oh, not just one, but two empty bottles of wine.
You did.
We didn't.
There's receipts for the
They were
same
both
exact day.
purchased yesterday, so I don't know how you didn't, because they weren't there the day before.
So one
There's two
was.
public receipts from yesterday.
Mhm.
Only thing purchased on either one was a single bottle of wine, two of them. So we have each bottle of wine that was empty in your garbage can that you purchased yesterday, or he purchased, but you two would have consumed together.
Well,
I mean, it's receipts, so it's not even worth the.
So this is. So I don't know what you guys are. I don't know.
We were just hoping that we could figure out why you,
What was the motivation?
There was no motivation.
well,
No motivation, but dude's dead. She was drunk. She was stupid. It happens. And this is why when somebody is doing that, hold my beer, watch this, you know that stupidity is going to ensue.
We're watching a video that, after talking to you, everything was laughing and fun. Now we're watching a video where it's not laughing and fun. He's begging for his life, and you are in a very angry voice telling him to fuck off.
No.
Yes,
It's not.
that's absolutely what it was.
That's
It's not
what she
assumption.
said.
The video's there. We played it for you.
So you guys think that I intentionally.
You
It-
did.
it
Do
doesn't
not
matter what
talk about
They are not assuming anything. They're just trying to get to the bottom of the story.
it doesn't
I
matter
walked
what
up
we
the couch.
think.
I walked up the stairs and got into bed. That was intentional. There's no way getting around that. You intentionally did that. Nobody drugged you up there. You didn't float up the damn stairs.
Okay, well, it's not fair. It's not fair that you guys keep trying to say that that's what I did.
I don't know what to tell you.
You told us that. You didn't go upstairs?
Again, there was a hole in a suitcase. I unzipped it from the hole with one finger,
Well, the damn hole didn't do him no good, did it?
but he could push it open.
No, he
Did he?
didn't. The video.
No.
But he didn't. Oh, she is getting irate. At this point, she is not thinking clearly. He knows she's not thinking clearly, and he is just going to get her to burn herself and say the wrong things over and over.
Him pushing up.
And
If
then
he could push it open, why wouldn't he have gotten out himself? Why would he beg you to open it?
I tell
Okay,
you, he can't read.
okay.
If someone can do something for themselves, they're going to do it. They don't need assistance unless they need assistance.
So, but why would he start doing it?
Because he couldn't, because it was all the way zipped.
Okay,
Didn't see it.
it wasn't. I intentionally didn't do it. That I intentionally did not do.
What's that? You didn't intentionally do what?
Zip it all the way. He nor I.
Well, he's dead as a
Lay
result of your
hands on
action.
each other.
He is dead as a result of
I
your
understand
action.
that. That's why
You
this.
two didn't lay hands on each other.
No. I don't have anything.
You're right.
He doesn't. Whatever that is, whatever it
He
is.
does.
Whoa, yes. Of course. He has been damaged. She is a very angry woman right now.
This is what happens. It's not fair that you guys, just because he has those, automatically blame it on me. Like,
Well,
We're
what
not
about
doing
when you had your injuries and he gets arrested? Is that not fair?
really? Like,
It's
really?
the exact same thing.
Really?
He has injuries. You have injuries. Like, what does that mean?
I don't have any injuries.
Correct.
Because he and I have not been at it with one another.
So every time that you guys fight, you both hit each other? So you should have probably
No.
gone to jail all those times that he went to
No.
jail for domestic?
Well, the one time I did. But he completely trash the police report. Because that's nothing what happened. Because the reason why I got taken in was because my story was different than his. So I'm being portrayed as like this abuser.
We're not saying that he doesn't abuse you.
Absolutely.
We're not saying.
So I'm the one that's being portrayed as the abuser.
It is all about her. She does not want to be portrayed as the abuser. He is a horrible, horrible, horrible person. I would never abuse him. I would never do anything bad or awful to them. But that is not true, because they're finding marks, scratch marks, damage done to him. What did she do? Did she videotape it, turn off the videotape, kick the thing a couple of times and go, yeah, this is what you deserve? We don't know because we weren't there. But this is her basically calling herself out. And this will be used against her in a court.
I have never dealt with anything like this before. I don't know what to do, how to do it. And I always know what to do and how to do it. This, I don't know. So I don't know, like, what's going on or, like...
We are simply trying to find out as well. Again, we got one side of the story. You're telling us, we're going with what you're saying, but then we find stuff that negates what you're telling us.
And I don't even remember doing that.
Okay. You're telling us that we're assuming stuff, but what we're simply doing is telling you what we saw in the video and
I
repeating what
understand.
you told us.
I understand. Because I don't remember that.
Doesn't mean it didn't happen just because you don't remember it.
So is the texting thing something about me? Like, what's...
The what? Texting? Oh, no, I'm texting.
No, I don't
You
know.
guys are scaring me, so, like, I don't know, like, what to expect. I mean, I had questions of things that I need to be taking.
Girl, you need to get yourself an attorney. You don't need to be worried about being scared. You just need to get an attorney.
Tara, like, I don't...
What are your questions?
I have one last question. You realize you're the person that killed him, right?
I thought about that.
Okay, you left him in a bag when he's begging you, saying, I can't breathe, let me out, and you said, fuck you. And you got up off the couch and went upstairs and left him in that bag.
Well, that would be a curious thought. If you leave somebody that you know is having problems, having issues, and you leave them, and they die as a result of you basically saying, fuck you, have fun, see you, bye. It's that if a person is drowning in a lake and you don't do anything, you don't do a single thing to save them, are you liable? And there's arguments on both sides of it. Legally, there's also that same aspect, the same drowning, that you toss a ring close enough for them to grab, but they don't grab it. And then you pull it back in and go, well, you didn't get it, so tough titty. Are you liable then? Would you be liable if you can swim and you can save their life and you don't do it? I don't know. This runs some serious legal questions, and I'm sure there's attorneys that will jump in on this.
Not intentionally.
Again,
I would never do that to George.
you did.
But she needs to get an attorney. She does not need to be arguing this.
Not intentionally. Know that.
It doesn't matter whether it was intentional or not. It happened.
I don't.
Know that.
You got up and you went up to bed.
Alcohol is a shitty thing.
Yes, sweetheart. Cheers to you, because alcohol is a shitty thing. Let's put it this way. Alcohol is such a shitty thing that right now, my wife is in bed asleep. She has had a wonderful evening. We had a great time together tonight. If I came up and for whatever reason, she was zipped up in a suitcase, I don't care how much alcohol I had, my ass is getting her out of that suitcase as soon as possible, because I care about her that much that I would not ever want to see her in that position. I would open that thing up if it took hell or high water. I would give her every last breath in my lungs trying to resuscitate her, making sure that she was still alive. Because it would kill me to see her in that position. It kills me to see this gentleman in this position where he is in a suitcase. He is begging her to let him out because he can't breathe. I don't care how much joking around is happening. I'm letting him out. Yeah, you got me. If he's, as she says, playing wolf, or the boy that calls wolf, that's fine. Whatever. You're still alive. Because I didn't know if you were going to be. Sorry. I don't buy her story. This is a very vindictive person. She basically found out that he was screwing around on her, and she wants him to basically feel pain. This is a woman that is scorned, and she wants him to feel pain. I understand it. I've been in that position before, where I want other person to feel pain, but not to the point that they would die. And I know that she probably has guilt and remorse, but that does not alleviate the fact of what she did at that moment, that she could have changed. She could have stopped this at any point, but she did not.
It's alcohol. Not, again,
the reasons that you tell them?
you all,
Please sit down.
listen to me.
Please sit down.
You all, listen. I did not intentionally kill him.
So your intention.
I don't know what it is I need to do, or how to do it, or what to say, or how to say it.
But what was your intention?
Everyone knows everything that I've done for George, and love him, and continuously helped him throughout his life with me, and made him a happier, better person.
Everybody has their limits.
Everyone knows that.
Everybody has their limits.
So it's like, okay, so while we're in a good place right now, I'm going to snap. Is that what it, while we're in a good place right now?
You did.
Absolutely. I got you on video screaming, "Fuck you."
This is what it feels like when you're choking me. This is what it feels like.
Which was however long ago.
You
The
said
videos was from last night.
clearly
So what
Feels
is that?
like it.
Yeah.
there's still feelings towards it. You wouldn't say it if you didn't feel it,
But I would never do that.
but it happened and you
But
did.
you
But
did.
that's after being playful
But no one's
and having
laughing.
a good day.
No one's laughing except you.
Everybody's
Oh,
having a good day. Oh, I'm sorry?
I would hate to see a bad day.
Don't make me out to be
Oh,
a person that I'm not. Or will I ever be.
Or are you a different
Oh.
person when you're drunk?
rough.
People have different personalities after they consume alcohol.
It depends. Well,
Because you're sober now, so sober you.
Nice
What about
person
you?
you.
not, it's both of us. It's both of us. And it's not fair that you all are assuming that the marks that he has on him are from me.
We asked you where they came from.
I have no idea.
Well, nobody else was there, so nobody else was
I have no idea. I swear I did not lay a hand on him.
You just zipped them
So what do you think? You think that she's an abuser? I think that she might be an abusive person.
in the back.
Nor he.
You just zipped them in the bag. And then you flipped the bag around several times.
I didn't do that intentionally.
You didn't intentionally flip the bag around?
No, why would I do that?
Well, you
Good
told us
question.
you
You
did it.
did.
When he was upside down.
Right.
Well, you had to put him upside down.
You can't get in a suitcase upside down because the
Oh my
But
gosh.
you put the-
See, that's
where his
unfortunate.
body was?
That's unfortunate too, if nobody else was there. That's
We have a
unfortunate.
video showing the suitcase in several different positions. So it shows one, like she just said, it had to been on its back with the lid open for him to get in there, for you to zip it up. Then it shows it on the other side with him in it, so you had to flip it to there. Then there's another video where it's on its back again, so you had to flip
I'm
it.
leaving it like this, please. I'm leaving it like this. I did not intentionally do this. No malicious intent or effort was towards this. No malicious.
I would
I'm
say
pointing
because that
to
help you sleep, but you're not sleeping, so.
I mean,
Last night, I maybe got an hour.
Right.
in your voice, you can hear the maliciousness. The fuck you is very, very.
You don't talk to people like that. That's not like a common like,
Nope.
hey Scott, fuck you.
Thank
That's not common. It's not something people do. And no one that sees that is gonna think that. Okay. So we were trying to give you an opportunity and
Oh, so she is trying to place intent on this particular person. It's not a good look for that officer. Because now you're assuming, officer, that I had some sort of intent. Well, let me tell you this. She should have gotten an attorney immediately. Immediately. No qualms about it. She should have gotten an intent. There's intent if you do not act upon it.
it is what it is.
There's no maliciousness towards that.
I would probably be telling myself that too.
This woman is nothing but malicious.
My intent was not for that to happen.
But you went upstairs and went to bed. Or maybe you passed out, I don't know.
Waiting for him. And the whole time frame thing, it's like, it's regardless, that's not really fair.
Regardless, waiting for him, it's not like you walked up the stairs. You can't fly up the stairs, no one can take you up the stairs. You go up the stairs, you lay in the bed, and you wait for him. Who cares if it's 5 minutes? Who cares if it's 30 freaking seconds? He's begging for his life. He's begging to get out. You go upstairs.
You leave.
It doesn't matter. So get the time frame out of your mind.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because there's this. So it doesn't matter anything what it is I say. So it makes no difference whatsoever.
It just, you're lying and like you're now changing your
lying
story.
about what?
You're now you're drunk.
Oh, I never said that I was drunk.
Exactly, but you did here today. That's okay.
You said earlier.
Everything recorded.
Alcohol.
You blamed it on the alcohol.
You blamed it on alcohol. Alcohol does a lot to people.
Yes, but I never said I was drunk.
Yes.
So you did this sober. You knowingly left him down there sober.
I have already told both of you also that we were both drinking.
Right. You want to admit that you were drunk?
I'm telling you all both.
Woman, be
This has
quiet.
changed my life.
Be
I will take
quiet.
this. I don't know.
That's what you're saying.
Absolutely. But you're trying to dance around the fact that
So,
you
but what
did
do you,
leave him
okay,
there.
just,
You left him in there. You're trying to
Oh my
dance around the
gosh,
fact
this
that you left him in there.
this is not,
You didn't leave him in
it's not cool. Like, this is not cool.
It's not cool.
That is,
He's dead. It's
but
not
you
cool.
think that I did that intentionally. You think that I did that intentionally
You intentionally left him in there and left the room. You went upstairs to a different room.
You intentionally did that.
You did.
Yes.
because I'm thinking he's gonna get out.
Okay, and he didn't.
Obviously not.
When somebody's begging saying, I
But
can't
when you
breathe.
say that though, but you have to,
Please let me out. I can't breathe.
no, George though, like,
Be quiet.
again, I thought it was a boy crying wolf. So it's just like, what?
Be quiet.
So if your son was in there and said, I can't breathe, are you going to open it, or is he 9, so he's not, really? It's not a big deal. Valid question.
Oh, you said you would never put your son in a suitcase. You would only put George in there.
No, George got in a suitcase.
And you zipped it up.
Not all the way and not intentionally to leave him there.
That's what happened. But you keep going away from it.
I don't know.
That's exactly what happened. You went up to bed, woke up the next
Are
day.
you all trying to have?
This is why you always get legal counsel. Let them do the talking for you. Do not answer their questions. Give them basic information. Feel that you are a prisoner of war, and this is going to save you every single time. Do not ever try to explain yourself. That's not your job.
Have me admit that? Like, are you trying to have me admit that? Because I will never admit it because it's not true. It's not true.
But you just did. You just gave up everything.
I'm basically stating as a fact because that's what happened.
Okay.
You videotaped him asking to be let out. You go upstairs.
So what, guys? So what? Like, just, I don't know what you want me to say other than it was not out of maliciousness or intentional. I don't know what or how I can say it.
This is a very smart woman, but she is not beyond reproach. And she is going to get hammered on this.
I love George. Love him. To this day.
It does not matter how much you love a person. You also hated George because he would do awful things to you. And I feel for you. I really do. If you're in an abusive relationship, move away from it. Get away from it. You had, at any point in time, you could have gotten away from this. You did not have to let it get to this point. But the fact that you did, sweet cheeks, the fact that you did, you could have made it stop at any time.
Still. Love him.
Love makes you do crazy.
It doesn't do, it's not one of those things where it's like, oh gosh, you know what? I've done enough for you at this point. I never gave up on him.
Okay.
Why I'm here today, I'm still not giving up on him. I would do anything for him.
Except let him out of the suitcase.
Well, you gave up checking up on him.
I don't
So.
know about the suitcase.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Oh,
We're simply just trying to go through. I mean, again, you gave us a completely different story that you churched up to. This was such a lasting matter.
It was fun.
Not by that
All
video.
day, all
Not by
day,
that video. That
all
part
day.
wasn't. Anybody looking at it, I don't think anybody would look at that video and go, George is having fun right now.
So why is
no,
it you all think
George was
that
not
I-
having a good time?
y'all don't know me, you don't know me, nope, would do something like that, especially having a 9-year-old son?
I don't know,
Like,
heavy
why-
language. I know some of the.
Like,
Why are you so like caught on what we think?
Yeah.
When
because
you should
it's
be more
like,
concerned about what you told us,
it's because
and
like, you guys are like
George is
trying,
dead.
the things that the video shows that are opposite of what you told us, and then what you've now
like, what is
told us.
opposite?
And this is why you do not talk to police, because they will get you to say things and then twist those words around into something that you didn't mean to say, but you said them anyway.
Well, you said that it was funny, and you're the only one
We
laughing.
were playing before that.
Okay.
But then it stops.
Yeah.
It obviously stops being fun,
Well, I,
because you're screaming at him, he's
I'm
not
not
gonna get
screaming
out.
at him.
Sounds like screaming at me.
I don't know what you all want me to tell you. In no way, shape, or form was this intentional. At all. Ever.
Okay. Are you still gonna allow us to do your fingernails?
Go for it.
Go for it. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna get that set up. Do you need any more water?
And go get a cough drop, sweet cheeks, while you're at it.
No, but when you come back and I ask about this?
Yes.
So what?
Just don't understand.
So it
I don't
was,
understand how your story changes so much to the
how
fact
is
that.
it changing? Please help me explain, understand.
You went on about how this was such a playful thing and you guys were laughing, and it probably was for a few minutes, but then it obviously changes. The whole demeanor of this whole situation completely changes. It's not the funny, laughing matter. He's not laughing at all.
I didn't think he was being serious.
Nobody's
You
laughing.
absolutely sound serious.
I
You're
didn't think
answering
so. Like, just,
You don't think your voice, you sounded serious?
it's, okay. I don't know what you want me to tell you. It was a great day.
Okay.
It didn't end well,
I was
obviously.
gonna say, that's, I mean,
I can't explain to you how horrific it was.
Okay.
To find him. Horrific. Because I don't remember taking those videos.
Okay.
How horrific. I'm thinking he's in the bathroom. I'm thinking he's downstairs on the laptop. I can't find him. So what's gonna happen? Like,
here's what gets me though, is you don't remember taking videos, you don't know where he is, you don't remember him being in the suitcase, and you're still telling me that you had your wits about you.
I
How does
but
someone have their
that's
wits about
Quiet.
when,
see, that's the thing
Be
too. Like,
quiet.
you can clearly tell.
Be
You can clearly
quiet.
tell that I had been drinking some. You can clearly tell.
I had several people that came up to me in that apartment complex said that you were drunk on a daily basis.
Oh
You were
my
screaming at
gosh.
him
Right,
regularly,
right,
really.
right. Talk to the property.
She is not an alcoholic. No, she is not drunk on a regular basis. She is absolutely the most relaxing, chill person that you would ever want to meet in your life. This is the person that you want to pull you out of a river while you're drowning.
Really?
Talk to the property manager.
Okay.
Because it's not,
These are your neighbors, the ones that live next to you. Your property manager does not live next to you. They see you every day. How
Oh
many,
my
you had two neighbors you went to and asked to go
See,
use the
that's just
restroom.
not
You said no.
fair.
Hold on. You had two different neighbors that lived directly next to you. You asked to use the restroom and they told you no and turned you away. You had to go
Oh.
across the way to somebody else.
no, okay. Kim and Eli. Kim is not a nice person.
Okay.
She's just automatically not nice. Even after me and Luke went over there and introduced ourselves, she's just not a nice person.
Then why would you think she would let you use the restroom?
Because Eli was in there. Eli comes over and talks to us sometimes, which I think pisses Kim off because he comes over and talks to us. The two of them, they're like super standoffish all the time. My neighbors down the street, down the way, their toilet was broken. They had stuff in the bathroom. So then they're like, go over there and try over there.
There's two bathrooms.
I would let somebody go upstairs and use my personal bathroom. That's what the downstairs one is for.
If it's somebody you like, would you? Or somebody you knew?
They're in the process of doing all this stuff in the kitchen, and there's stuff
All right, too much interest in their bathroom there. It's just a little creepy.
in the bathroom and the toilet doesn't work. Just walk across the way, no problem. And of course they let me in. Them and them, they're together. They're families. And nonetheless, if you really want to know, and I hope it doesn't get them in trouble, but he is over here illegally. So he's trying to work on getting his green card.
What does that got to do with
Oh, see, now this is where she's going to go on this. Oh, he's over here illegally. So that makes him not a good witness to character.
you used in the restroom?
They didn't want to be involved.
No, I was asking last night because, I mean, we had several different people. in the
Assuming
neighborhood
that
come up
Eli and
she's
Kim.
Drunk on a regular basis.
Eli and Kim. Okay. Did you ask Vinny next door?
Those are the ones next door that she asked to use the restroom and they said no.
No, she said no. And like I said, she's not a nice person.
They're coming. What are your questions?
Yep.
Can I help you with?
Who's coming?
To do the
No,
fingernails?
you said that we could.
And you don't have to allow us to do it, just so you know, so don't think that.
I don't have a problem.
Oh, you don't have to let us do it, but no problem. I'll do it anyway. Because all you have to say is, I'll tell you what, I'll get my attorney and we will sort this out in court.
Sure.
So, am I getting my phone back?
Not today.
What about Lucas's laptop?
Not today.
Oh,
What does that mean?
We're still going through everything.
Oh, that's fine.
You're the one just telling us there's videos that we need to see on it, so we need
That's
to do our
fine.
due diligence that we go through everything.
See, and that backfires on me now too, because now you all think that I had even more, in quotes, intent to do what I did then, which was not intentional.
What's that?
correct?
She's asking about your tag in your hand.
No, but I'm asking if that's correct.
No, I'm not gonna agree to anything that you're saying. I'm not, that you're,
So his probation officer,
Mhm.
do you all inform her or do I need to call her?
we don't have to inform her, so if you would like to call her, you can. Are you saying because he's on probation?
Ugh.
No, but because of the nice lady that she is and all that she's done for him, I thought I didn't know how it was.
Legally, we just have to tell his parents, and we don't go telling,
Everybody else?
I didn't even know who his probation officer was, so no, I wouldn't go
So
tell.
the same thing for classes. I need to do that too.
Classes? You need to do what?
Substance abuse class and his battery
Example.
intervention.
Yeah,
Something
we
else I
don't
was just
have
getting ready to
to
ask. So, other than this, so initially, what was the cause of death?
She is still pending because she wants to hold the body for an additional day to see if more of those bruises turn into something bigger. And she's doing some other tests that she's got to do. So she's pending it for now.
So, and that couldn't have been of him being in the suitcase? Or
That's
y'all
what
are saying
she-
I
that's what-
physically did it?
That's what she's determining.
So,
The ones on the head, I asked her, because I had been from the suitcase, and she said she didn't think so.
I didn't touch him, nor did he touch me. I'm leaving it at that.
She's living her dad.
So, I don't know, do you all
Okay.
know how to do this? Because so that's what I was gonna ask you. So, are you all updating his parents today, or when he gets final, whatever?
What does it matter what we tell his parents? We mean,
Because
we're gonna talk to with them.
okay,
I have to
but it's
tell-
gonna come
like-
down to me,
What do you mean?
like, so it's being put on me.
Who said that?
But I'm not, so what is it you tell them?
We're gonna give them an update, just like we gave you an update on their autopsy.
Okay, so it's whatever
Well,
bruise,
here's the
back,
thing,
and
here's the thing.
whatever on the head.
We had to deliver news to them last night that their son was dead. There's not a whole lot of conversation that goes on after that. It's not a very easy.
Was
thing
it
to do.
yesterday or Sunday? Sunday. Today's Tuesday, right?
Did we not meet you yesterday? We met you yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm just asking. Right? Did we not meet yesterday?
It's a valid question.
Really? Yes, on Monday.
Okay.
Got it.
Perfect.
So I don't know if I asked you guys or
Oh.
how I find this out other than talking to his parents, which. not gonna-
Oh, you're burying yourself.
How do you guys suggest me finding out about funeral?
That's not even something that's been probably talked about between the family. That's not something we asked. We have no way of.
I didn't know, so I'm
Yeah.
asking.
It's gonna
So,
be up to them to make the arrangements of what they want to do. Like she just told you, just quick, just being told last night, I'll pretty much be willing to wager that they have not even considered what they're gonna do.
My body can't even be released, so.
I've been there with parents, grandparents, and uncles. So I don't know if I have the right to or not, but like I was gonna call his former employees whom he really cared for and let them know.
You can call whoever you want.
I just don't want to do something that I'm not supposed to. How do I go about getting his wedding ring, engagement ring?
It's at the medical examiner's office. It'll come to us eventually, and then.
It'll be released to
Oh,
the next
okay.
of kin.
Yeah.
She is worried about that ring.
That is a civil issue. It was on his finger, it goes to them. They're the ones that are gonna release it. We don't have any say in that.
So I won't get that back.
Wow. She's
So
worried
for all
about
of
an
this,
engagement
like, how do I
ring.
find out what's what, how many, like, what's been found?
What do you mean?
Pillow with stain, swab of stain from pillow, suitcase.
That will all be sent off to
FDLE?
the daily Florida Department of Law Enforcement. They do their testing.
So, and then like whatever white can with blood and necktie with blood was from the suitcase.
Correct.
Why would you guys, oh, you'll see it in there, the baseball bat for Lucas and the seats. And this is just his phone, my phone, and the laptop.
Yeah, when anything can be released, we will release it, but we are very early in this investigation, and it's not an
So-
overnight process, unfortunately.
So what's next?
They're gonna come and swab your fingers.
No, I'm talking about like in the long run. Like, what do I need to like, do I need to be doing something or like,
I can't tell you what to do.
I mean, like, so like for, like, I don't understand, like, I don't know if you guys are just gonna like.
This is why you
Because it
get
makes it
an
sound like to
attorney,
me,
you
like, I'm being
dumb
accused of something
woman.
that was not intentional. I'm being accused of it.
Mhm.
And a handful of other things that I'm being accused of.
Okay.
So I don't want to be at home with Lucas and you guys show up. So,
We're still investigating. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
so is there going to be concrete whatever it is, and then it's like, okay, this is what it is, kind of thing, or like, because I've done the whole court thing, I've done the whole attorney thing, I've done whatever. So if I'm not admitting anything about being intentional and I killed George, that's not the situation, but it's trying to depend on me.
Okay.
That was not my intent, but it's trying to depend on me. So however,
Oh.
or whatever it is I need to do in order for that to be proven, then I need to do so, which is why I'm trying to get my
Girl,
ducks in a row.
you have already
So
screwed
that's why I'm
up.
asking what the next step is, other than me getting my nails swabbed.
I mean, you want me to tell you how to not be accused of a crime? Is that what you're asking? Like, I don't know what you.
I'm trying to prepare myself for whatever may need to be done, so I can, I guess, stick up for myself.
This is why you get an attorney.
You came, you talked.
I just don't want you guys to, again, show up and Lucas is in the house.
Well, we did tell you yesterday that we don't want to do anything around your son, hence why you came to us. So I don't know why you think that's gonna change.
That and or me not just show up back home.
I'm sorry, what? That or what?
Me just not show up back home. That's what, oh, he's so happy that I'm staying over at the house with Brian, like so happy. And I'm not going back to the house, to my house, for however long I can stay over here because of whatever to blow over.
Mhm.
And again, if you don't mind me asking, so for
Oh, dumb.
whatever it is you all are claiming from the videos, which, yeah, it's,
Why? Why does this happen in
is that what you're
Florida?
gonna tell him? Like his parents? It's like, oh yeah, and by the way, she did.
Did what?
I mean, what would you tell him?
I don't think it really matters what we're gonna tell the parents.
Oh yeah, it is, it's fuel to the fire.
Well, we can't hide things, and I don't know, I'm not saying we're gonna go, I'm not saying that we're gonna go and tell them every single thing we have. But again, this is the Orange County Sheriff's Office, that's public record, so eventually, like, this all will come out.
Mhm.
So, it's that, like, I'm not,
It matters, honey.
you're making it sound like we're gonna tell them something, so then your life is in danger, and I don't like that accusation. So, let's just nip
I
that in
don't
the
care
bud
what
right
you
now.
like
Well,
there.
that's what's going to happen.
Officer Sticky Fingers.
I cannot
But we
What are
choose.
we gonna tell them?
But we can't even, but so technically there's no concrete report yet even.
Right, so,
So it's,
you want me to like
I'm
tell
telling
you
you exactly what I'm gonna tell them.
I don't know what I'm
That's
gonna tell
what
them. I don't know what I'm gonna tell them. Let's just leave it at that. Just like you don't know why you went upstairs. I don't know what I'm gonna tell them.
So
Parents that are dealing with.
can I call you the way that I did last time?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Listening to two women argue over stupid stuff is like pulling nails across a chalkboard. I don't know what I want to tell them. You tell them what you want to tell them. I will tell them. I will tell them. You tell them. Tell them. Tell them.
Yeah, my phone has an open line. Missy should be there. I don't watch TV.
I get it. Look, I get it. That looks really bad.
Mhm.
So that's what scares me. Like, what do I need to plan on? Like, what do I need to plan on? I promise you, on my son's life, it was not intentional. I promise you, on Lucas's life, it was not intentional.
I don't know you. I can't say I know anything about you. I don't know what would be a true statement, what would not. I mean, if you're promising on your son's life, that's fine.
That's how much it means.
Sorry.
That's how much it,
I'll
look,
Sure.
that's how much it means.
Sure.
I hope you take that to heart, please.
Oh, there's
There's
not a
probably
whole
nothing
lot of
about
heart
you.
going on here. You should have gotten yourself an attorney.
Do you have any idea when I can get my phone back?
What's on it?
What do you think?
I said, Novella, I mean, our digital forensics unit is, got a lot of cases on their plate. I mean,
Well, and that's not technically my laptop, it's Lucas's laptop, but he plays, you'll see all the games that he has on there.
Get yourself an attorney. Stop saying.
we have
Stop
no way of being able to tell you
the
because we don't have
jabbering.
control over their caseload and how they arrange what they do. So I don't know. And at this point, I think honestly, with everything else that's going on, that should probably be at the bottom of your list of worries.
I'm trying to make Lucas happy so he can have his laptop back.
Did Brian not have a laptop for him?
He has his laptop that he has to do for work, that he doesn't want him using it or breaking or dropping.
Yes, breaking my laptop
Not a
would
big deal.
make
There's
me
nothing on the
very
laptop
angry.
anyway. So you will keep me posted, like updated.
Sure.
That's my
Yes.
thing, is I'm trying to figure out what I need to do in the meantime.
I don't know. I can't, like, I don't know what to tell you though. Like, what
Okay.
what,
But you
Call
all have more information than I do, where,
attorney.
yeah, you might want to, or yeah, you might want to.
Get an attorney.
like, we have more information on what?
Like,
We told you everything that we have. You know everything that we know. And most of it we got from you.
but that, like I was telling her, like, yeah, that's bad, like, which I swore in my son's life was not intentional. So that's why I'm trying to figure out what I need to do for myself
Okay.
going forward with this, nonetheless, with his family. And are you all just showing up? with Lucas
Woman,
now?
stop
We told
talking.
you that we would be mindful of any situation.
Quiet. Silence is golden. 'Cause they can sit here all night, sweat you out until you say something stupid again.
So you guys, I guess you're gonna call me tomorrow? Or do we need to come back down here?
I'll chat with you next time. I have no idea when I'm gonna call you next.
Isn't the report come out tomorrow?
report.
I'm just saying a report is generated through us, and the sheriff's office is a public entity. So if someone were to come request something, then
No, I'm talking about, his autopsy.
she's waiting and doing our follow-up, but
She's looking at him again,
yeah.
but she won't be finished with him because she's pending further stuff.
So after this, what? I'm done for now?
All right. Get up, walk out.
How long does this stuff take to get back?
The
Most
FDL
of that
results.
you won't get back, the swabs and stuff. Well,
This is a woman that
Well,
needed
alright.
to shut up about an hour ago, or about an hour and a half ago, or
or just
possibly just
calling
never
my phone, I have
said
other people
a
calling me
damn
with me.
word without an attorney. If the police are calling you in
I hope
for
you all
any
really
sort
truly
of
understand
reason,
That was not my intent. I miss him a lot.
okay,
I mean,
doesn't matter to them.
but my question has remained the same.
They're checking
With respect
Facebook
to
right now.
To somebody, when you leave them the position.
They're just letting you
Yes,
talk.
but you have to understand too,
No, just what would you expect to happen to somebody when you leave them in a position?
I have no idea because I've never done it before.
Why have you never done it before?
Why would I?
Exactly.
Why
Why
would I
did
do it
you?
before?
Why did you do it now?
I clearly
Ugh.
said
Ugh.
why.
I hate
No, you
cops
don't know
like
why.
this.
You just know that it's not intentional, but you don't know why.
You've taken advantage of this
I'm not trying
poor
to force you
woman.
to say something that
You've
you
got
don't know.
everything that you can possibly get from her. Just arrest her already and move on with your day, because she clearly is an idiot. She thinks she's smart. She's an idiot. This isn't going to end well for her. They can sit here all night and she's just going to keep whipping out her phone. She's just going to continue to stare.
The fact that you guys assume that I'm that kind of person.
I'm not assuming anything. We're going by the facts. It happened.
Like you said, you don't know me.
Am I free to go? Get up and go. Get up and walk out. This is where the silence kills. Oh, Jesus. Get up and leave. Am I free to go? Come on. Come on.
In itself, for me to have to live with
Ah, Jesus.
being out and doing what I did is punishment enough. I think that's why I haven't slept. Because that's all I see.
No. Just
But
be
right there,
quiet.
something.
Just don't say a word. Get up and leave. And make them
Not
detain
my
you.
intention.
Just shut up. Just be quiet. Don't say a word. Oh, and see, he's got nothing but time.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
Yep.
Punishment in itself.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely a tragic situation.
I overdosed with alcohol. And it's unfortunate that stupid things like this happen.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Oh, just
Nonetheless, I have to live it out now.
sure. Whatever you say.
His daughters too.
Are you trying to make it worse?
Sorry, what?
Are you trying to make it worse?
Make what worse?
How I feel?
No.
Different comment. I mean,
CSI, that was there yesterday, when she took your photos.
Applesauce. I said applause. Applause. Because big mama here, she's clapping. More applause. More happiness. All right. They call me Dr. Stinky Fingers.
Go around on one hand and then do the separate one for your other hand.
All right. There we go. We're going to get more on you because you're an idiot. You were a dumb woman. God, these people and just having is sickness just running rampant on you? Are you that sick? If you're that sick, go get checked out. Seriously. When I cough, I try to cough here. She's taking fingernail swabs with a mask. Isn't she special? Come on, Betty. Clean it, scrub it. Come on. Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. Yeah, we can skip over this. Yeah, they're just basically taking fingernail swabs. And she's not saying much of anything. She's got nothing to say.
Okay, Sarah.
Okay, so
So, you're not free to go? Okay.
you're not free to go.
Oh, do you promise everything you told us was the truth? Or no? Everything we talked about today?
Yes.
What do you mean?
He has to swear. Remember how I swore you yesterday on the audio recording? I just forgot, so you raised his hand to remind me.
Oh, see, now this is where realization's going to come in that she's up shit creek and she's not free to go.
Tell you.
Okay.
Do you promise and swear that everything we talked about today has been true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Or which,
True and
everything?
accurate to the best of your knowledge.
What, that it wasn't intentional?
Everything you've said
Everything you
today, everything that's come out of your mouth has been true and accurate to the best of your knowledge.
To the best of my knowledge.
Correct.
Why?
That's how
Anytime
you
we talk
swear.
to somebody, to assure that everything that we talked about is
True and accurate to the best of that person's knowledge.
not a trick question,
To the best of my knowledge?
to the best of your knowledge.
Everything that you've told us today is true and accurate to the best of your knowledge.
Yes, but it was not intentional.
And see, this is where she's just burying. She's there. I would say, I don't know.
All right, do me a favor, stand up. I need you to turn around, face the wall, put your hands behind your back. Do you have anything in your pockets that I should know about?
No.
Okay.
Why is this happening?
Because George is dead.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that someone died and you're the suspect.
Not intentionally.
We understand
He's
that.
still dead.
Well, we don't
Someone
really
needs to
understand
call Brian, please.
that. Okay.
Or can I not make a phone call?
You'll be able to make a phone call when we get you down to the jail.
So why is this
You'll be
happening? So this was a trick.
No, it's not
No,
a trick.
it's
How's
not
it a trick?
No, there's no trick to it. This is why you get an attorney.
I'm in here to ask you to explain a few things to us, and
You were read your rights.
your response to everything was basically, I didn't do it.
Intentionally.
Doesn't matter. It's still there. Do me a favor. Have a seat.
Really, guys?
Really.
So if I didn't show up. Why is
You're
this
fine.
happening?
Because
Before y'all said I could leave.
when
That I was done after this, after that.
we were done, yes, we were done. Absolutely.
So now, so that's what it is,
We are done.
right?
And now realization hits her. Damn, I'm an idiot. I should have gotten a lawyer.
Not intentional.
Okay.
So what am I supposed to do now?
You will,
Someone needs to call Brian.
Okay.
Lucas is waiting for mom to come home. This was not my intention. I thought I was waiting for you all to come and figure out what's what, and how many.
that's what we're trying to do.
And I was going to be able to go home and see Lucas. Now he's just not gonna have me come home. So there's nothing that I can do.
All right, no.
There's nothing that I can do in order to go home and see Lucas and prepare.
No, no. You'll be afforded the time in court, you'll be afforded an attorney, you'll be afforded a chance to talk to a judge, and all that stuff will be worked out.
But what's the time frame for that, though?
Oh, sweetie, it could be years. The realization hits her too late. I am not an attorney, and I will tell you this right now. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you do something completely stupid, as we're all known to do because we are humans and we're just have this wonderful tendency to do really stupid shit. If at that point you have police officers asking you questions, you are especially if they're reading you your rights. Even if they're not reading your rights, you do not have to answer any of their questions without legal counsel. And because I'm not an attorney, I can't tell you what to do. But I am saying from personal experience, I would not answer any of their questions. I would say, well, let me get an attorney. And of course, they will say, do you think you need an attorney? Only a guilty person would get an attorney. Well, whatever you have to say, you can just talk to my lawyer. How's that? Get an attorney.
I have no way of being able to tell you, you should make first appearance probably like tomorrow morning, if not tonight, depending on how things are busy, how quickly you get down there.
I had
I
a
don't
sneaky
work in there.
suspicion this was going to happen. And I need water, like, really bad, please.
You don't have to listen to him. You should have said, no, I think I prefer to stand.
You all check me down here.
Absolutely not.
I just got those,
Okay. They are not allowed in the jail.
so I can't even smoke cigarettes right now.
Oh no, you're going to be jonesing for some nicotine there, sweetie.
And what am I supposed to do with my car?
So you find where it is. When you get down there, you'll have 3 phones, you'll be able to call.
What, as soon as possible?
Yeah, once you get down there, give a pin, you'll be able to use a phone in the
But
waiting
how
area.
long will that take? Because I need to talk to Brian.
You know, it depends how busy, how quickly they get you through. I would say within the hour. It's a free phone call in the lobby. It's a free phone
All I'm
call.
doing is bringing you there so I can see if we're
She has no clue.
So can I ask you, or whoever it is, those holding cells, am I gonna be put in one of those?
I don't know.
Last time I had a panic attack.
Let them know that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you're familiar with the big bay. As long as you go in and you act civil to them, they'll put you in the big bay. And you'll be left there for
Can
a
you
while.
request that while I'm there?
No, that's not up to us. We don't work at the jail.
As long as what he's saying is you don't
If
have
you
to.
go in and act like this, you'll go in and they'll put you in the big bay. If you go in there screaming and kicking and yelling and
How would I
cursing
do
people,
that?
I don't know. I'm just letting you know that's what happens. That's how they weed people out. If you go in acting like this,
So I asked for the big day?
they'll put you there as long as you're acting like this.
Yeah, because the last time I had a major panic attack in the building.
I have not.
So what am I gonna do
Oh, you need to get used to those little things because that's where you're going to be.
with my purse? Okay.
The first is gonna come, but the cigarettes and stuff can't, so.
I put the lock up too. My bad.
Oh, that's all good. Mine are the opposite, so.
What made you all decide to do this?
Made us decide to do this.
Same reason that you decided not to let him out of a box.
George is dead.
You guys, I knew this was gonna happen.
You did? Okay.
Well, if you knew this was going to happen, then you should have gotten an attorney.
So I
Well,
came
we
down
did.
here willingly,
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
We were trying to figure out what's going on. We're still trying to figure out.
unintentionally.
Intentional or not, George is dead.
Yep. George is dead.
You act like when you say unintentionally, that absolves you from everything.
I need to get, I have my, I don't know if it's able to be or not.
I apologize.
I have things in my car that I need to,
What kind of stuff do you have in your car that you're worried about?
well, I have my medication.
Okay, they have a pharmacy there, so if there's something that you have to have right away, you'll be seeing a nurse.
It's panic attack stuff.
So again, when you get checked in, you're gonna be seeing a nurse, and that they have a pharmacy there, so they'll be able to take care of any kind of that stuff. That protocol is out of my realm. I don't work on this, I don't know, but I do know they do have a pharmacy, and that you will be afforded to see somebody. Okay?
Hold on.
Listen,
Yeah.
all right.
Well, and there you have it, folks. People doing stupid things. People do really stupid things. And That's what she did. She was stupid. She should have had an attorney during her very first interrogation. Whenever they read you your rights, you get an attorney. Don't say a single word. There is nothing that you are obligated to say. You don't need to ask them a single question. You just say, I would like to speak to my attorney. You said that I have the right to remain silent if I don't have an attorney, that one won't be provided to me. And at that point, you say, well, I can't afford to have an attorney. That's it. That's all you have to say. Don't say a single word ever to these fuckers, because they will burn you. Anyhow, it is rolling on about midnight. I've been going for a few hours. I appreciate Memento Mori for coming on and giving me some very entertaining chat. And maybe you found something out about me that you didn't know before. But I do appreciate Memento Mori for coming on. Thank you very much, everybody that may come on later and enjoy this video and have a little bit of fun. Poke fun, leave a comment. Say something nasty, say something beautiful, say something, just say anything. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your time here. Enjoy your time everywhere, because this is a beautiful place to be, and you all are beautiful people, and life will continue on. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. And with this, I'm going to say, hit like and subscribe. If you're new to this channel, this is what I do. I will just randomly talk about the most asinine shit that I can possibly find to talk about. And I will do it in the most horrific way that I can possibly do. I will be here more than likely again tomorrow. And if I'm not, it's okay, because I might be on the next day or the next. I'm thankful for you. Everybody have a wonderful evening, and good night.
Exótica.